Welcome to HOJO Radio.
Get a can of Dr. Lyon's tooth powder today for a few cents at any drugstore. See what a surprise you get the first time you use it. We believe you'll never again return to ordinary, less effective ways of cleaning your teeth.
The Cavalcade of America. No history of a nation would be complete without a record of the growth of its industries, the shops and factories and laboratories that lend wings to the progress of a people. Such an enterprise is DuPont, one of America's earliest. As you listen on Wednesday evenings at this time to the Cavalcade of America presented by DuPont, we hope that you will give a thought to the pioneers of American industry, as well as to the pioneers in all other fields of endeavor. And the spirit of progress so clearly shown in these stories is the thing that inspires DuPont chemists to fulfill their pledge, better things for better living through chemistry. At the very end of this program, we have a special announcement for school teachers which may help them in their work. This evening's first story begins in the early 18th century in colonial America. Our Cavalcade Orchestra plays an English dance which is characteristic of that day. The country dance from the Nell Gwynn Suite by Edward German.
In the ranks of the American cavalcade march the direct lineal descendants of the great builders of the world. The pyramids of Egypt, the public baths of Rome, the Gothic cathedrals, and now the soaring steel towers of the modern skyscraper. In 1724, the Guild of Master Craftsmen, known as the Carpenters' Company, was formed. Then, 5 years later, important business comes before the legislature of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Order. It is now in order to hear from the Special Commission for Building a State House to accommodate our Pennsylvania legislature. Mr. Hamilton, have you anything to report?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. In accordance with the petition of the people of Philadelphia and the resolution of this body, I have prepared designs and plans for a building to house the legislature.
Are you ready to submit it to the Assembly for consideration?
I am, together with an amendment to the bill now pending for appropriation of money necessary to carry out the construction.
What will His Excellency permit us?
Only £2,000.
Well, at least we can begin on that.
Just as soon as the bill is enacted into law.
I move the commission be appointed trustees for building the State House according to the approved design.
Why are we not allowed to see the plans before approval? It seems to me...
I second the motion.
The commission recommends...
Order! Gentlemen, order!
So on May 10, 1729, the law was enacted authorizing the construction of that group of stately buildings in Philadelphia, later known as Independence Hall. Edmund Woolley, master carpenter, and his skilled assistants, joiners, masons, plasterers, and glazers, toiled skillfully and cleverly to bring Andrew Hamilton's designs to perfect realization. But not until 7 years later is the new State House far enough advanced to begin playing its celebrated part in the history of our nation. Autumn, 1736.
Mr. Woolley, sir.
Yes, Tyson. Is it finished?
No, sir. There's one more nail.
Drive it home.
I thought it'd be more fitting, sir, for you to be the one to do that.
Why does thee think that?
When this nail is home, the new State House will be ready for the legislature. After so many years, the honor should be yours.
Oh, vanity, Tyson, sheer vanity. But give me thy hammer.
Here you are, sir.
There. 'Tis done.
Completed at last.
Only the main building, but the wings and the tower, it needs a good tower. And a bell.
I think it's wonderful just as it stands, Master Woolley. Surely there's nothing so fine in this part of the world.
Nothing finer was being built when last I saw London.
To be master carpenter of this fine State House must make you very proud, sir.
Proud? Oh, tut, Tyson. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall.
Yes, sir, I meant no offense.
Oh, I take no offense. Thou art a good workman, and I thank thee for standing with me all these years.
6 years, sir.
Aye, so it has been.
So now I may join the Carpenters' Company.
Well, thee knows well only a master carpenter is eligible for membership in our guild.
I've been a carpenter 6 years. I'm eligible.
Why, so thee is. Oh, time is a hasty wanton.
And now I'm eligible for one thing more.
Verily? What now?
For the hand of Miss Prudence.
What? Why, my daughter's only a child. Besides, I've set my heart she'll wed with only a master craftsman.
But, sir, now I can be a master.
And thee owns the land here. And thee is not one of the Society of Friends.
I'm afraid not, sir. But I own land in England.
I like thee well, Tyson. But I could not consent to see Prudence go back to England. Or marry out of meeting.
But surely, sir, unless there is someone else that...
But it would seem there is. Yonder she comes now with young Coleman.
Bob Coleman. Why, he's an iron worker.
Aye, but a master craftsman and one of our friends' meetings.
Good morrow, Father. How does he today?
Prudence, child, I do not think it seemly for thee to be here. Soon there'll be a great crowd of people coming to watch the first sitting of the legislature here.
Their first assembly in thy building, and thee expect me to stay away? Oh, Father, I hope I have more duty to thee than not see so good a sight.
Tut, Prudence, I fear the duty is to thine own curiosity. How does thee, Robert?
Oh, well, I thank thee.
Thee knows Tyson?
Oh, we've met before. Your servant, sir.
We're just in time, Robert. Here come a lot of people. Oh, how bright they look, all silks and satins.
Tut, Prudence.
Well, Mr. Woolley, sir. I see you are ready for us in time.
Yes, friend Hamilton, I hope the legislature prospers well in this new meeting place.
I hope our laws are as good as our design.
Well, our work is honest and our materials sound.
It ought to grace this fair province many years. Well, look here, Benjamin.
Yes?
Look at these hinges on the doors. They are uncommon handsome, are they not?
They are more, Mr. Hamilton. They are uncommon strong. This Pennsylvania iron will make more than hinges.
I do not follow you, Benjamin.
We may not live to see it, but someday buildings will be made of iron. And wood and brick will only be the ornaments of them.
Benjamin, you think too much. Come along in. The members are taking their place.
Who were those men, friend Tyson?
Mr. Andrew Hamilton, Speaker of the Assembly.
Whose designs Father and thee made into this fine building?
Yes.
And who was that man who talked of iron?
He heard him praise my work? Bah, he trades in words. He is a printer.
He's a clerk of the Assembly, a Bostonian called Benjamin Franklin.
I would like to talk with him.
I would they'd rather talk with me.
Come, children, let's go in. This is an important occasion. There will be many words spoken today.
Will thee sit by me, Prudence?
No, by me if you would see better. We carpenters had first place here today.
I'll sit between thee both, behind my father.
The Assembly of the Province of Pennsylvania will please come to order.
10 years pass. The east and west wings of the State House are finished, and the tower with its courtly staircase is topped by a fine belfry. Isaac Norris, Speaker of the Assembly, ordered a bell of 2,000 pounds to be cast in England, but when it was first rung, it cracked. Norris then ordered the metal improved and recast by Pass and Stowe of Philadelphia. In June 1753, the new bell is hoisted into place, and a great crowd has gathered in front of the State House to hear whether a good bell can be cast in the colony.
The bell is almost secure in place now.
They say it weighs a ton. Is it true that this is the first great bell to be cast in the colony?
Yes, Pass and Stowe are the first to try it. Come, Prudence. This way, dear.
But he takes me further away from the tower.
We can hear the bell better at a little distance.
I hope Father can hear it.
Oh, I'm sure he can. I remember years ago he said there'd be a tower and a bell someday.
Oh, it makes him happy to know the State House is finished at last.
Yes, it would have made him happier if you had married Coleman instead of me.
Nay, John. He's pleased now that he owns land here and comes to our meetings.
Well, as our iron-making friend Coleman says, our colony is truly a melting pot. Those are strange words friend Norris had cast on the bell.
What were they?
Proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It's from the Bible, Leviticus 25:10.
Isaac Norris is a very pious man.
Perhaps he thinks he's a prophet.
Oh, they're making signals from the belfry. The bell must be in place.
We have a good view from here. Look.
In that beautiful State House 23 years later, on July 8, 1776, the American colonies determined to maintain their right to self-government, declaring they are, and of a right ought to be, free and independent. Thus, one of America's first achievements in architecture and building stands today as the shrine of American independence. Americans are the greatest builders of modern times. The first use of steel frame construction is lost in argument of the past. We know the Tacoma building in Chicago was one of the first. Another was the Home Insurance Building in Chicago, finished in 1885. It was 10 stories high at first. Then they added 2 more just to prove the soundness of the architect's calculations. But the most famous among the first tall buildings still stands on a triangular corner where Fifth Avenue, Broadway, and 23rd Street meet in what was once the crossroads of America. There, in 1902, we find young Tommy Coleman.
Extra, all about Teddy Roosevelt using the big stick. Get your paper, Mr. Extra. Here you are, sir. Thank you, sir. Extra, all about...
Let me have a Harold, boy.
Oh, here you are, madam. Thank you. Extra. Here you are, sir. Thank you. Extra, get your paper, Mr. Extra.
Paper, boy?
Oh, yes, sir. Herald the Times.
I'll take both.
Oh, gee, thank you, sir. You're just like Mr. Munsey. He always takes both.
Muncie, a customer of yours?
Yes, sir. His office is in this building. Windiest corner in New York.
Well, it is windy here, all right.
You bet it is. Everybody complains about it.
Yes, I know. Why don't you take a more sheltered beat?
Oh, I like it. I'd rather be right here than anywhere else in the world. Everybody goes by here. This place is famous.
Oh, you think so?
Think so? Say, mister, don't you know where you are? This is the Flatiron Building.
I thought it was called the Fuller Building.
Nobody around here calls it that anymore, because it looks like a tall flatiron, 20 stories high. A regular skyscraper, ain't it?
Why, yes, I guess it almost is.
Almost? Say, mister, you ought to see the clouds rushing by it on a stormy day. Then you'd know.
You seem to like this crazy building.
I do. I saw it go up. I sold papers to all the fellas that worked on it. Someday when I grow bigger, I'm going to build one myself.
Oh, you want to be an architect?
What, me? Stick indoors over a desk? No, sir, not me. I'm going to be a steel worker. It's the steel gangs that build things like this.
By George, you're right. What's your name, son?
Tommy Coleman.
Do your people live near here?
My folks used to live in Philadelphia. Only they don't live anywhere now. They're...
I see. Well, we're from the same state. I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania,
Oh,
myself.
Pennsylvania Dutch.
That's right.
But the big cities are the only ones that have skyscrapers.
Yes, and we're planning lots of others.
Gee, I wish I could get a job working near one of them. I like to see them go up.
Well, maybe you can. Here's my card. Come see me at my office. I might help you get a job.
Well, thanks. You bet I will, Mr. Dingleberg.
That's right.
Oh, you're an architect.
Yes.
Do you know much about skyscrapers?
Not much yet, son. I've only worked on one tall one.
But there's only the... Say, did you build the Flatiron building?
Well, I used to think so, but maybe now I'd better say I just planned it.
You thought of it and figured it all out.
Don't forget to look me up, Tommy.
Thanks, Mr. Dingleberg. I won't forget. See, as if I... And he built this.
Paper, boy.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Extra paper. Get your paper right here on the windiest
As the years went on, young Tommy Coleman became a steel worker, caught hot rivets in a bucket high above the sidewalks of New York. Until finally, in 1930, we find him talking with his wife.
Oh, Tom, I made you late, and you a gang boss.
Well, that's all right, dear. My gang will be on the job, all right. Now, you go on home and take it easy.
But my job.
Well, you telephone them you can't come back.
But I can't quit my job.
Well, you've got to quit it, dear. The doctor said you couldn't work another day. Now, no more talk. I'm late, darling. You will go home, won't you?
Yes, Tom. If you'll feel better about it.
Oh, I will feel better. The doctor says you're sick, Mary. You've got to take it easy. I hate to scare you, dear, but gee, I don't know how I'd get along without you.
Is it as bad as that?
Yeah. Gosh, how that building does grow. More than a story every day.
What are they going to call it?
The Empire State.
It'll be tall as any of them, won't it?
Oh, it'll be much taller. It'll be the tallest building in the world. And I'm helping to build it. Well, here's the hoist, dear. I gotta go up with the next load.
Good luck, Tom.
It'll be okay if you do just as I tell you, darling. Go on home and take it easy.
I will.
Glory be. Ever got to go all the way down to the 46th floor for a cup of hot coffee?
No, they got a cafeteria now on the 64th.
But we only put that up the day before yesterday.
Well, keep your eye on it, buddy. Maybe Al Smith will have an office there by Monday.
Remember when we ate in the first shack? The cafeteria, as the boss calls it. Way back on the 3rd?
Yeah, and how we thought we was getting somewhere when we got hot coffee and on the 21st?
Yeah, and now look at the blame thing.
And we ain't done yet. Say, boss, the steel's coming in from all over the place.
From 4 mills.
Say, this new lot is from Pennsylvania. Ain't that where you come from, boss?
Yeah, my folks have been making iron and steel there a long time.
They sure ship it in fast. Right on time to the minute.
Well, they better if we're going to make our schedule.
All you think of is driving your gang. Ain't we the best gang in New York?
Yeah. How about the Eagle Gang?
Well, maybe next to the Eagle Gang.
Hey, what's got you so set on finishing up this job so quick anyway? We're doing one whole floor a day now.
We've got to have this building finished ahead of renting season.
Oh, renting season. Is that all that's been worrying you, boss?
No, not exactly. As a bonus.
Yeah, I guess we could all use that.
I got a use for it, all right.
Nothing to be gloomy about. Hey, you used to be a cheerful guy. You ain't cracked a smile since the day you was late. Hey, funny you being late. Lord knows you're tough enough on the rest of us.
Hey, you better eat more and talk less if you want to get filled up before that whistle.
Hot coffee goes pretty good now. Think we'll be finished before cold weather?
Yeah, almost to the top now. We can't finish any too soon for me.
Nor me. I need a vacation. Where are you going, boss?
I'm not going anywhere. My wife.
Yeah? Where are you sending her?
Up to medical center?
Oh, the medical center. I worked on that job. Good job, lots of steel. But it's a heck of a place for a vacation.
Shut up, you. Can't you see it ain't no picnic?
Yeah, that's right, boys. It's an operation. She's got to have it or she'll die.
Gee, that's tough. I didn't know. Guess it costs a lot of dough, eh?
You said it, Tony. Plenty. That's why I want to beat the record and get part of that bonus.
Well, you can count on us, boss.
Every gang of it.
Oh, thanks, boys.
All right. Come on, boys. Let's go.
Up they went, 1 story a day, until near the top they reached a speed of 14 stories in 10 days, with the stoneworkers and bricklayers only a short distance below them. 3,400 men at work above half a city block. The top rivet nearly a quarter of a mile above the sidewalk. 60,000 tons of steel put in place in only 6 months. 102 stories high, a record for all time. The rivet gangs and their bosses deserve their reward for work well done. But for Tom Coleman, it means an anxious vigil at the New York Medical Center.
Nurse,
Yes?
will it be much longer?
Oh, it hasn't been long.
Seems long to me.
I think they're bringing her out now.
Oh. Well, Doctor. Doctor.
Oh, you mustn't go in.
Oh, but I gotta go in.
Wait here, please. It might be fatal.
All right. I'll wait.
They're going to take her back to her room.
Well, can I see her as she goes by?
Yes, but stand back, please. They're bringing her out.
She looks so still.
She's still under the anesthetic.
Was the operation all right?
The surgeon's in the operating room. You can ask him.
You mean I can go in there?
Yes.
Doctor. Doctor.
Yes?
My wife, will she live?
Of course she will. The operation was a success. In time, she should recover full health.
Oh, say. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Thanks, Doctor. Thank you.
Excuse me, please.
Oh, look out, look out. Don't bump into that tray of instruments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Perhaps you'd be interested to see the instrument that did the trick. This one.
You mean that little knife? That's the thing that saved my wife?
Yes. New technique especially for this delicate operation.
Oh, I see. Do you mind, can I see it?
Certainly, but be careful.
Yes. This little gadget. Look, will you? Doggone it, it's made of steel.
Workers in steel, raising high against the stars new temples for a newer and finer life. Brave, hardy men with a noble heritage. Builders of an empire in the sky. Builders of steel tools to cut our way into the secrets of the future. Builders of steel, we salute you, heroes of the American cavalcade.
Those of you who have visited New York or have seen pictures of that great example of modern steel construction, the Empire State Building, know how nobly it stands, gleaming against the sky. The shining metal used on the outside of the Empire State Building is stainless steel, an alloy of steel with a high amount of chromium in it. And one reason why it has such a smooth, mirror-like surface is that it was pickled after the steel was rolled into sheets. Now, most of us think of pickling as something connected with onions or cucumbers or pig's feet. But the word has an important meaning in the iron and steel business, in fact, in all metal manufacturing. It describes the process by which metal objects are cleaned of the scale and rust that accumulates on their surfaces during the earlier stages of manufacture. This is important, not merely for the sake of appearance and to make it possible for the metal to take a finish, but especially to prevent corrosion and wear. Before the year 1800, when the chemistry of metallurgy was relatively undeveloped, Fermented barley water was used for this cleaning purpose, and it took a long time. Then someone started to use acid. And today various acids, sulfuric, muriatic, nitric, and hydrofluoric, are used, each having its special place and use. Most iron and steel is pickled with sulfuric acid. The stainless steel we just spoke of is pickled with a mixture of these acids. Now, in a great skyscraper, all of the galvanized piping and conduits, all of the copper and brass, the iron stairways, and the steam radiators, not to mention all of the metal furniture in the offices, have to be pickled before they're finished for use. Steel auto bodies, which have to be smoothed to take a fine finish, are another example of pickling. And I'm sure you've all seen suspension bridges, like the famous George Washington Bridge, with their great cables of wire rope. This wire rope is galvanized, too, and before it can be galvanized, it must undergo a pickling process. The acids I mentioned a short while ago are simply names to most people, but now we see how important they are to industry and to building. These acids are made by DuPont and supplied to industries the country over. The story of their usefulness serves as a good example of DuPont's phrase, better things for better living through chemistry. Now we have a special message for school teachers. So many teachers of history and English and dramatics, as well as principals of schools, have written us about the interest they and their pupils take in the Cavalcade of America and how helpful the programs are in connection with classwork in these subjects, that we shall call attention from time to time to forthcoming broadcasts. Next week's program, entitled Speed of Words, deals with the progress of communication from the days of clipper ships and the Pony Express to the present day of radio. We urge teachers to recommend it to the students. Next week, at this same time, the Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
A news bulletin from the Press Radio Bureau, New York. The borough of the Bronx and sections of Upper Manhattan are without light as a result of a fire in an uptown electric powerhouse early this evening. Service has been restored in the Bronx and some sections of Manhattan. When the service stopped, street lights went out and industrial plants within the area were idle. Service on the independent subway system as far south as Columbus Circle was halted. This news is from the Press Radio Bureau. Further details will be found in your newspaper. WABC, New York.
Those three beautiful stars all use Lux toilet soap regularly. You know what a forthright person Joan Blondell is.
Yes?
Well, when I asked her about her complexion care, she said, a Lux girl? You bet I am. Active lather facials really work for me.
Lux Soap Beauty Facials do make skin lovelier, all right. Skin specialists proved it. In 3 out of 4 cases, daily Lux Soap care made skin softer, smoother.
The fact that so many famous stars recommend Lux toilet soap shows how right it is for delicate skin.
Now, there's a beauty counsel for lovely ladies everywhere. Why not make fragrant white Lux toilet soap your daily beauty soap? Remember, it's Hollywood's own complexion care. The choice of 9 out of 10 lovely stars.
HOJO Radio. We're your old-time radio headquarters. Stay tuned.
Remember, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. The makers of Hallmark greeting cards bring you John Steinbeck's great story, 2 for a Penny, starring Claire Trevor. For more than a third of a century, quality has been a habit with the makers of Hallmark cards. They are the kind of cards you can be proud to send, proud to receive. That's why, through the years, Hallmark cards have been America's favorite greeting cards. So, if you want to send the very finest, look on the back for the 3 identifying words, a Hallmark card.
These 3 words are your assurance of finest quality. They tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. Now to preside over the Hallmark program this evening, here's a young man well known to Broadway, both as actor and producer, Richard Chalmers.
Thank you, Tom Shirley, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To please critics, producers, and public, an actress has to be good. To please her fellow performers as well, she has to be wonderful. Well, that's just what happened in the case of Claire Trevor. Robert Montgomery and Elliot Nugent, fine actors themselves, have selected Claire to star in the new play that they're producing. Probably they rejoice in the warm humanity that she brings to every role. A quality of performance that caused us on the Hallmark program to scramble after Claire for tonight's play. It's a timely play because it's about the Dust Bowl. And as was pointed out in the Reader's Digest this summer, there's some fear that the Dust Bowl may be coming back. We could have starred an Undersecretary of the Department of Agriculture using a column of ominous figures for a script, but instead we have a drama about warm human people and a star that even other stars admire. The Hallmark program proudly presents Claire Trevor in 2 for a Penny from The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. The wind came. It blew for a long time, day and night, and there was no rain. The rich green, fertile valley became a desert of dust, and out of that dust came a new breed of wandering men and women and children, Americans whom we named the Okies. This is their story. But who best to tell it? It is history, so why not a historian? No, instead we've chosen a girl named May, who witnessed the parade of the pathetic from a vantage point on a road named Highway 66. All right, May, go on. Go on?
Go on? Now?
Yes, now.
Well, I don't know how I got myself mixed up in a deal like this. I'm scared. Talking about history. Gee, I don't know nothing about history. I just mind my own business. And that vantage point, that's crazy, mister. Al's lunch is just a diner like 1,000 others on Route 66. Gee, I wonder what Al would say if he heard his diner being called a vantage point. He'd laugh. Yeah, I bet you he'd laugh. Because Al's that kind of a guy. Anyhow, the day it happened, Al was polishing the chrome coffee urn and I was clearing dishes off the counter.
I polish from morning till night. It just don't stay shiny.
Well, just watch out you don't burn yourself.
Don't say it like you want it to happen.
Who wants it to happen? Just telling you to be careful.
Look, I didn't mean to get you sore before.
Too sore.
If there's a guy in this world who can talk to a woman, I'd like to meet him. All I said was it's for the good of the place. After all, I closed down. What did you do? Jobs ain't easy to get. It's for the good of the place, I'm telling you.
Okay, so it's for the good of the place.
Holy smoke, is it so much to ask a girl to smile?
I'm selling coffee, not toothpaste.
But it don't hurt to smile.
Someday I'll get married to some rich guy, and I won't ever have to smile again. Not for the rest of my life.
I'm not asking you to smile at everybody. Just at the truck drivers. Show a lot of eyebrows.
Smile. And of all people, it's truck drivers.
It couldn't hurt. After all, truck drivers is the secret of a place like this. If they like the coffee and the service, then they stop here regular. So other people see their trucks parked here, so they stop too. Everybody knows that where truck drivers stop, there's good food.
Maybe I should wear an evening gown and look like Joan Crawford, too.
All I'm asking is smile.
Smile. Call me Laughing Boy. Smile. I got to stand behind this hot counter. I got to dish out coffee that burns my hands. I got to listen to their dirty chatter. Got to clear away their dirty dishes. Got to watch the way they look at me. Got to listen to the things they say about me. And you want me to smile.
Please, Meg.
Oh, please, Michael.
You didn't have to break that cup.
Okay, so I didn't have to break it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to nag. It's only for the good of the...
I know. It's only for the good of the place.
I won't take that cup off your salad.
Gee, thanks.
There goes another one of them cars.
Yeah. Will I ever stop?
Who knows? There ain't even 3 million people in the whole state of Oklahoma. And it seems like 10 million of them has gone by already.
Let them go, as long as they don't stop here.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with them. I hate dirty people. I hate them, that's all.
Ah, you hate everything.
Do you like dirty people?
No.
Well, you see, so what are you yelling at me for?
Who's yelling? I only started to say...
I know. Smile. Oh, shut up. I don't have to like dirty people. So I better stay out of here. So you tell me, is that a vantage point? Not on your life. It's just a diner like 1,000 others on Route 66. And all day long, them motions, they just keep going by in their noisy, dusty little jalopies. They all look alike, too. A dirty mattress on top, tent poles, canvas, and their faces. Skinny, dirty little faces. And kids. Every one of them's got lots of kids. But there was one special jalopy of Opie's on Route 66 that day. It looked like all the others. Pots and pans piled in the back.
What's you crying about, Ma?
What do you think? Neither of them said nothing to eat all day. My, I'm hungry. Get some water, Ma.
Pretty soon, Joy.
Sure, Joy. Now hush your crying, Susan. Paul.
Yeah?
Paul, it's been pretty hot. The boys are thirsty.
We'll be stopping soon, boys.
Is it much further to go now, Paul?
I reckon not. Could be there 4 nights.
Ma, I gotta pee. Because you're hungry, Petey.
We'll be eating soon, boys. Pretty soon.
Oh, we'll have to buy us some bread. Will it be all right?
I reckon so. We gotta eat.
Paul.
Yeah, what is it?
How much we got left?
I guess we got enough. Sure, do.
How much, Paul?
We can spend 10 cents for bread. No, don't fret. It's gonna be like this long. We'll get to California, and I'll get a job, and What's the matter, Ma?
I'm scared. I can't help fretting, Paul. Not after what we've been through.
I told you things are gonna be different.
I'm just wondering, did we do right? Maybe we should have stayed.
What for, Ma? Keep starving? No work back there. Ain't been for a long time.
It was our home.
Home don't mean nothing, Ma, when there's nothing to eat. There's no work for a man. Nothing but setting, watching his wife and young'uns going about. Don't you fret none. We're doing right.
I hope so.
I'm going to get me work. You wait and see.
And that jalopy is heading for Al's place. Of course, I don't know it at the time, and it's a good thing, too, because I don't want them near the place. Well, the rest of that day is like any other. People in big fancy cars stopping, and of course, trucks and truck drivers. For my money, when God got tired of making people, he converted to making truck drivers. They come in 2 kinds, no good and worse than that. And I got to smile at them. Late that afternoon, a big diesel job rolls in, and the guys get out.
Now get up front, May. Truck driver.
Yeah, I'm breaking out in a rash of smiles already.
Please, May.
Hiya, May.
Hi. The name is May.
May, please.
Forget it out. Sit down, Harry. Yeah, sure. May, this is Harry, my new help. Harry meets May, the most beautiful and the oldest tomato between Las Vegas and Cincinnati. She's beautiful, all right. Hiya, babe.
You want some Java?
Still the same old May, huh? Yeah, 2 jets. What kind of pie you got?
Banana cream, pineapple cream, chocolate cream, and apple.
I'll take apple. How about you, Harry? Apple? Yeah, apple. Anything new, baby?
Just whom are you addressing?
Just her, Harry. Who? Oh, please, pop the sugar, my dear Duchess.
Here, sugar. Where's Dorothy? Something happened to me. What?
No, nothing happened.
What was it then?
Now they switch them to another run. They do it all the time, yeah.
Oh.
Sweet on him.
Sweet on a truck driver? Oh, don't be crazy.
Why not? Georgie was a nice kid.
What do you mean? What? Yeah, then what was that next? I heard that some of the boys wanted your trucks went off the road.
Oh, you heard?
Yeah, I heard. So?
So, Georgie was in it.
Used to?
Crazy how those things work out. I didn't get even a scratch, and Georgie, he... Give me some more coffee. That's a good girl.
What about Georgie?
Killed, eh? Georgie gets killed.
Oh, no. Not a nice kid like Georgie.
More coffee, huh?
Yeah, more coffee. He couldn't have been more than 24.
Yeah, it didn't make no difference anymore.
A cowboy, they should have called you. It must have been your fault.
It wasn't my fault, it's Demoki. I take a turn, there's one of them jalopies straight ahead of me. I swear not to hit him, and... Well, we just get a soft shoulder, we roll over.
If I didn't get Demoki, Georgie would still be alive. They should drive him off the road, they should. He's a soft stick.
Yeah. Tell you what I said before about you do that George.
Oh, it's okay. Only I never was. You know that.
That's true. Right. Say, that slot machine looks like it's carrying a jackpot.
Yeah, nobody hit that one-armed bandit for quite a while. $4 nickels.
Well, there it goes. For a nickel, I'm going to become a millionaire. Hey, maybe I'll even retire from the trucking business, huh? Hey, boy, oh boy, that's one play. There's another. Hey, hold your breath, wait. Well, so I'm a truck driver again, huh? What's the matter?
Oh, I can't help thinking. It wasn't for them, most.
George, got it?
Yeah, the poor kid dies and everybody wants to forget it as soon as possible. Well, I won't forget it. Not for a long, long time.
Hey, Harry, go on. Take a crack at that flapping. Yeah, sure. You know, that Harry, he ain't got no initiative, man. And I always said it takes a guy with initiative to what he... Gee. Jack?
Yeah.
Not full of luck, that Harry. Well, Harry, I guess you want me to be your helper now, huh? Yeah, sure. Well, Harry, ain't you going to celebrate? How about putting a nickel in the jukebox, huh? Now? Oh. Yeah, maybe not. But, well, treat us to some candy, huh, sport? Sure. Hey, what kind of candy you got?
It's all in the showcase.
Hey, new candy, huh, May? Hey, what's them?
Which one?
Yeah, them stripy candies right there in the cake.
Oh, that peppermint. Good.
Oh, take one. How about you, Harry? After all, it's your treat. You want one of them stripy candies? Yeah, I'll take one. Let's have two of them, eh?
Okay. Here you go.
Thanks.
Thanks. Nothing. That'll be a dime.
A dime?
Yeah, nickel apiece. What do you think? They grow on trees?
Oh, sure. Here's a dime. Yes.
I'm not sure. Just can't help thinking.
Please, ma'am.
Them oakies crawling all over the roads like big ants. Everything but the kitchen sink tied on top of them jalopies. Mattresses, furniture, even chickens some of them have.
Yeah, I keep wondering where they come from. Does it go down or no?
Yeah, and people say they steal.
Well, no, I never saw one steal.
Well, they ain't never stole anything from us, and they ain't going to. Hadn't been for them.
Gee, made us an accident for
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, you better tie your stuff down. I think that's one of them okies coming in now.
Putting in here, huh?
Just a moment with the second rendition. I Paul Mark drama from the pages of the Reader's Digest, America's favorite magazine. And now, here's Dick Feldman.
Since I've been on the Hallmark show, I've noticed that many of my friends look on the back of the cards they sent and received to find the name of the maker. I suppose it's just like looking for the artist's name on a painting, or the label in a hat, or the maker's mark on china. Of course, some names mean more than others, like the name Hallmark on the back of a greeting card. For more than a third of a century, quality has been a habit with the makers of Hallmark greeting cards. Yes, discriminating folks know that the three identifying words, a Hallmark card, tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. So when you choose your cards, make a point to look in the back for those three identifying words, a Hallmark card. Like sterling on silver, those three words are your assurance of highest quality. Hallmark cards are on display in America's finest shops and stores. So when you need a card, stop at your friendly Hallmark dealers for a Hallmark card. And remember those three identifying words, a Hallmark card. Tell your friends you cared enough to choose the very best. And now we return to our star, Claire Trevor, in the role of May from John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. There's a great deal of tension in Al's diner as the old rattle-trap jalopy belonging to the Oakey family pulls up. Bill and Harry, truck drivers, watch the look on May's face as she stares out the window.
Hey, get a load of that, will you? I seen broken down jalopies, but that beats them all.
You ain't kidding. They didn't leave nothing behind.
See what they want, May.
So I should give them service.
See what they want, so they clear out in a hurry. Don't look good for the place.
Okay, Al. But I can guess. Air for the front tire, some water, and, well, you know what.
Yeah. So, give them water and get them out of here.
All right. Yeah? You want something?
Please, ma'am, can we get some water?
I didn't hear you.
Can we get some water, ma'am?
Okay, go ahead. I'll keep my eye on the hose.
Thanks. I sure get thirsty climbing hills and all.
Go on. Water's cheap.
You mind if I give my boy a drink?
No, go ahead.
Here you are, Joey. Take your drink. Hey, not so fast, Joey. You got time.
Yeah, Pa. Oh, it's been so long. Gee, it was good. Real good. See if you can get it here, Pa.
All right, Ma. I'll ask. Excuse me, ma'am. Well, could you see your way to sell us a loaf of bread?
A loaf of bread? This ain't a grocery store, mister. This is a diner.
I know, ma'am. You got bread, though.
Sure we got bread. We make sandwiches. Do we have bread?
Couldn't you sell me a loaf? You need it, ma'am. Awful bad.
We need it, too. If we sell bread, we're going to run out.
We're mighty hungry, ma'am.
Yeah, well, then why don't you buy sandwiches? That's what we sell, not bread.
We sure admire to do that, ma'am. But we can't. We got to make a dime do for all of us. You see, we ain't got but a little.
Well, you can't get no loaf of bread for a dime. We only got 15-cent loaves.
Oh, let 'em have it, May.
But, Al, we're pretty low now.
We got enough.
We'll run out before the bread truck comes.
So we run out. Give 'em bread, May.
Yeah? For Georgie's sake, I suppose.
Georgie, man? Who's Georgie?
Oh, forget it, mister. Come on in. You can have the bread.
No, boys. Stay where you are.
That's okay, mister. Let 'em come.
Thank you.
Where are you heading for, mister?
California. Ain't we, Pop? Yeah, California. How's things out that way?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Man can get a job out there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Here you are, mister. This is a 15-cent loaf.
Now, please, ma'am, can't you see your way to cut off 10 cents worth?
But this here's a...
Hang it all, May. Give 'em the whole loaf.
No, we just want to buy 10 cents worth of it.
Okay, you can have it for 10 cents.
That wouldn't be right, ma'am.
Go ahead, Al says to take it.
Thank you. Here's the dime.
Hey, Pa, a penny. You dropped a penny. Can I have it?
No, I'll take it, idiot. Always. I'll take it.
Yeah, Pa, sure.
Well, I'm much obliged to you.
Don't thank me. Thank Al here.
I'm much obliged to both of you.
Don't forget it.
Well, good day. Come on, boys. Boy, got no more business here.
Yeah, boys, go on. Get away from that window case. You're getting the glass all smudged up with the faces.
Yeah, look at them. Like their faces was frozen to the glass.
Oh, look.
Come on, Joey. You heard what the lady said.
Oh, look in there, candy. Oh, honest, Pa, candy. Yeah, Pa. All kinds. Licorice, chewy chocolate. Look, Pa, those long stripy ones. Oh, peppermint, and then peppermint.
Come on, boys, please.
Oh, but wait. Yeah, Petey, come on. We better go. Stripy ones, Joey. Did you see the stripy ones? Come on, Petey. Pa says we... Ah, the stripy ones.
Ma'am.
Yeah?
Excuse me, ma'am. Is them penny candy?
Which one? Yeah, Pa, can we have them?
Please, Petey. Now, wait, Joey. Is them penny candy, ma'am?
You mean these? No, the long stripy ones. Right over there, ma'am. Oh, them, huh?
Yeah. Are them penny candy, ma'am?
No.
Come on, boy. We better go.
Hey, wait. Them 2 for a penny, mister.
Well, then, give me 2 of them, please.
Here you are, mister.
Take them, boys.
Yeah. Hey, look, Mara. Candy. We got real candy.
Thank you, man. My little brother's so head up because... because my mom and pa don't believe in giving a boy too much candy. It's just not good for him. Is it, Pa? We better go, Joey. Here's your penny, man. Good day to you.
So long, mister. Good luck. Well. Who'd have thought? You're a real tough baby, May. You sure showed.
What are you talking about?
Oh, listen to her, Harry. She don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't see.
Them wasn't 2 for a penny candy, May.
So what's that to you?
Them was nickel a piece candy.
So?
A real tough baby, huh? You showed them plenty.
I'll leave her alone, fellas, huh?
Besides, they ain't the ones who... Well, they couldn't have nothing to do with Dorothy.
That's right, honey. Well, we've got to get going, Harry. We're dropping time. Here you are for both of us. So long.
Hey, wait a minute. What is this?
Go on, jump in the lake. We'll be seeing you.
Hey! A big lug. Ow.
Yeah, what do you want?
Look there on the counter. Look where they left.
$1.
Yeah. A buck tip. Some hard-boiled truck drivers, huh? So, that's what happened. And you see, it's got nothing to do with history or vantage points or anything. It's just something that happened. I don't even know why they wanted me to tell it. Honest, I don't.
Thank you, Claire Trevor. That was a beautiful characterization.
Well, thank you, Dick. I'd also like to thank the Hallmark greeting card people for giving me the chance to play May this evening. Believe me, from now on, I'll be doubly sure to look on the back of the cards I send for that Hallmark label.
You won't regret it, Claire, any more than May regretted selling those youngsters some 5-cent candy at 2 for a penny.
You know, I especially like that part of tonight's story. It really said a lot more than just that sometimes hard-boiled people get soft-hearted.
I think you're right, Claire.
It seemed to me somehow to express a more universal truth.
You mean that a child can bring out the best in human nature?
Well, more than that, even. I meant that, well, all of us can help bring about a better world. The girl in tonight's play did something. It was small, but it was something toward relieving the distress of the Okies. And we all can do that. Oh, but why do I try to express it? Why don't you read what a real philosopher has to say about it in the Reader's Digest?
What philosopher?
Bertrand Russell.
Well, suppose you read what he has to say, Claire, and we'll all listen.
All right. There have been in history good periods and bad periods, but neither have been lasting. It's our misfortune to live in a bad period, but it will end. And it will end sooner if we, as individuals, keep hope alive. Everybody can do something toward creating in his own environment kindly feelings rather than anger, reasonableness rather than hysteria, happiness rather than misery. The sum of such actions makes the difference between a good and a bad world. And so to the man tempted by despair, I say, remind yourself that the world is what we make it, and that through the making of it, each one of us can contribute something. This thought makes hope possible, and in this hope, though life will still be painful, it will no longer be purposeless.
Thank you again, Claire Trevor. When you see the signature of Rembrandt or Gainsborough on a fine painting, it is the identifying mark of a master. And on greeting cards, the 3 identifying words, a Hallmark card, are a sign of expert craftsmanship. Because for more than a third of a century, quality has been a habit with the makers of Hallmark cards. So always look in the back of the card you choose for those 3 identifying words, a Hallmark card. They tell your friends you cared enough to choose the very best. And now, you know this is Airmail Week. Airmail is the first to arrive, the first to be read, and the first to receive attention. It's a great service. So take advantage of your opportunities and send your letters and cards, domestic or foreign, by airmail. Take advantage of Airmail Week. There's a reduction both in domestic and foreign airmail rates.
You're cordially invited to be with us again next week at the same time for another fine dramatic program brought to you by the makers of Hallmark greeting cards, America's favorite greeting card. At that time, we're bringing together an exciting British story and a great British star. The story is a Scotland Yard mystery, and the star is one of the finest actors of our generation, Claude Rains.
Ever may soon be seen in RKO's Deadlier Than the Mail. 2 for a Penny was dramatized by Henry Denker from the Reader's Digest, America's favorite magazine. The Hallmark program was directed by Mark Loeb, with music especially composed by Jack Miller. Remember, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness.
Welcome, William Bendix.
Nobody can act up to par with a nasty cold. I check my cold distress the fast way, with 4-way cold tablets.
Yes, tests of 4 leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting of all. Amazing 4-way starts in minutes to relieve aches, pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
4-way is the fast way to relieve those cold miseries. Then you feel better quickly.
4-way cold tablets, only 29 and 59 cents.
Stay tuned to HOJO Radio.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. Of whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trusts. I will exercise my art solely for
The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. In just a moment, the story of Dr. Kildare. But first, your announcer. Now, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine. A clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, the nerve center of medical progress, where great minds and skilled hands wage man's everlasting fight against death and disease. Blair General Hospital, whose ministry of mercy reaches out from its quiet halls to the highways and byways of a huge metropolis.
Yes, sir, Doc. Many's the time Kildare rode with me in this ambulance. Of course, he was just an intern then, like you, before they made him a resident.
Interesting, Wayman. Well, keep your eyes on the road. Those are the police flares around the smash-up just ahead. She was unconscious when Wayman and I got there, Dr. Kildare. I couldn't bring her to.
Deep shock, Morden. She's had tetanus antitoxin, of course.
Yes, sir. 100,000 units. The leg looked pretty bad, so we rushed her right in.
Boy, I come in from Riverdale and nothing flat. You should have seen me, Doctor.
I've seen you, Wayman. Nurse,
Yes, Doctor?
blood plasma. Supplement with glucose intravenous.
Yes, sir.
Morton, how long had she been lying there on the road?
At least a half an hour, I imagine. Not much traffic out there this late at night.
Too bad. Might have made a lot of difference. Know who she is?
No, sir. No identification on her.
Driver's license?
No driver's license. No nothing, Doc. She must have been doing 70 when she met up with that chief.
Nurse, has Dr. Gillespie been called?
Yes, Doctor.
Will you check again to see that he's on his way?
Yes, Doctor.
If only we could locate her family. Got to have their consent.
For what? To save her life?
I guess it almost amounts to that, Morton. We have to protect the hospital. When we go into surgery, we've got to have consent from either the patient or next of kin.
So there? You looking for me?
Oh, yes, Dr. Gillespie. This girl should be operated on immediately.
What's wrong with her?
Circulation completely destroyed. One lesion gangrenous already. Not a chance of saving her leg.
Well, then what are you waiting for?
I haven't got consent.
Why not?
Because the patient's in no condition to sign. We haven't been able to reach her parents.
Looks like we're sort of stymied, Jimmy.
Yes. No, we're not. That girl's going into surgery.
You mean you'd amputate? Without consent?
If it's the only way to save her life.
Kildare, this girl is your patient.
Thanks, Dr. Gillespie. Nurse, prepare the patient for surgery.
Good morning, Dr. Kildare.
Good morning, nurse. Oh, how's our patient?
Miss Northrop, the amputee?
Yes.
Oh, no change, Doctor. Despondent, uncooperative. Apparently no desire to overcome her handicap. It's been the same for 3 months now.
It's understandable. If I could only find someone who knows her. It's not easy for an attractive young girl to accept the loss of a leg.
You mean mentally, Doctor?
Yes. Well, that's my problem. I'll go in and see her now. Good morning, Miss Northrop.
Get out.
Oh, I've had the same greeting for 3 months.
Leave me alone, Dr. Kildare. I don't want to see you.
Miss Northrop.
Don't you understand? I hate you.
I do understand. But please, won't you tell me the name of some person you know, some of your friends?
I have no friends. And if I did have, I wouldn't want to see them.
But you'll need them when you leave here.
I'm not leaving here.
You can't stay here forever, you know. When you're cured, you must leave to make room for some other patient. Please, tell me their names.
No. And leave me alone.
Why won't you try to walk? Come on, I'll help
Don't
you.
touch me. You feel sorry for me. I can see it in your face.
I don't feel pity for you or sympathy. All I want is to be able to close the book on your case and mark it successful. I won't be able to do that until you walk.
How can you look at me and imagine that I'll ever be called a success?
When I look at you, I can't think of one reason why you shouldn't be. You have youth and beauty.
And on the debit side of my ledger, I have one leg. The books just don't balance, Dr. Kildare.
You'll only listen to me. You can learn to forget your problem. You will forget it in time. Now, you must learn to walk. Just work with me. Give yourself a chance.
A chance, Dr. Kildare. That's very funny. A chance to go swimming again. A chance to go dancing. I'd do a very graceful rumba, Dr. Kildare. I'd rather die.
Nosy! Nosy, Parker! Nosy!
Yes, Dr. Gillespie.
Nosy, why in thunder are you always poking around here when I don't want you? And as soon as I do need you, you're off in another country.
Oh.
Didn't I tell you to get Dr. Kildare?
He's on his way now.
Well, how long does it take a man to come down 4th flight?
Exactly 1 minute, Dr. Gillespie.
Oh, hello, Kildare. Get out, Nosy.
Oh, that man.
Kildare? I hear you've been having trouble with that Northrop girl in 408 again.
That's right. Who told you?
Oh, I got my spies all over the place. Got your every move charted like a rising temperature.
Don't I know? Well, Miss Northrop is difficult, all right. I've done everything to induce the proper mental outlook.
Well, she certainly seems to be well enough physically and medically.
I should have been leading a normal life by now. Every day she stays here makes it worse for her. She thinks she can hide from the world for the rest of her life.
You've done everything you possibly can for her?
Yes, and it doesn't work. If only there was some way I could make her have faith in me, believe in me, believe that what I'm doing is best for her.
I think that perhaps it'd be best for both of you if you got off the case.
No. If Miss Northrop succeeds in disposing of me, I'll be only the first in a long succession of doctors.
Well, that's a good analysis.
It's not enough to save a patient's life if you also destroy the incentive to live. Amputating that girl's leg was a delicate operation that I had to perform. But getting her to accept the fact and find the ability to cope with it is an even more delicate operation. No, Doctor. Deserting that girl now would be like walking out in the middle of an operation, leaving the patient helpless on the table.
I like to hear you talk like that.
If only I knew how to get to her, win her over to my way of thinking. Must be a way. There must.
You'll find it, Jimmy. You'll find it. I believe in you.
Dr. Kildare, calling Dr. Kildare. Report to the 4th floor immediately. Room 408. Room 408.
See you later, Dr. Gillespie.
I've got every right in the world to see her. I know she wants to see me.
You want me, nurse?
Oh, Dr. Kildare.
Dr.
This man
Kildare.
insisted-
They told me you were her doctor. You've got to let me in to see her.
Whoa, now, slow down here a minute. Who is it you wish to see?
Marjorie Northrop. We've been engaged for over a year, Doctor.
Where have you been for the last 3
I was
months?
looking for her. Please take me to her, Doctor.
What's your name?
Willard Mason. What's wrong with her?
She'll be all right.
Well, then you let me see her.
No. Miss Northrop has issued orders that no one is to see her. And the hospital has to abide by those orders.
No one will stop me from seeing her. Just tell her that Willard Mason is here, that's all.
No, it's no use. I think particularly you're the one person she's afraid to see.
What? Afraid to see me? Well, why?
Mr. Mason, she was in an automobile accident. It was necessary to amputate her right leg.
Amputate? No, I don't believe you.
You still want to see her?
More than ever. She knows how much I love her. She must know that what happened can't affect my feeling for her in the slightest.
You might consider that what has happened may have affected her feeling for you.
But at a time like this, Doctor, I should think she'd want to see me more than ever. She'd need someone to lean on.
I agree with you, but I'm afraid she won't. She resents pity and sympathy.
But I won't give her any. I'll just make believe that nothing's happened. I'll avoid any mention of her leg.
That's the one thing you mustn't do. It only makes it more obvious. You must try to understand what she's going through mentally.
I'm sorry, Doctor. It's such a terrible shock. Hard to imagine Marjorie.
Dr. Kildare, Miss Northrop in 408 is flashing.
Certainly, nurse.
Room 408. That's where she is. Right up the hall.
Yes, but no. Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going?
Room 408. I'm going in to see her.
Don't go in there. Don't go in there. I tried to stop him, Dr. Kildare.
That's all right. We'll just wait here a minute. Come on, nurse.
Get out! I don't want to see you. Get out!
Marge, please. It doesn't matter.
Leave me alone. Please leave me alone.
I'm sorry, but we belong to each other.
Nurse.
I'll have this man removed.
No, leave him alone.
It doesn't matter, Marge. I love you. Marge, I've always loved you.
Don't look at me.
I'm glad you told her how you felt, mister, but I think right now it'd be best for you to leave.
All right, Doctor. I will. Marge.
Please. Yes. Miss Northrop. Miss Northrop, surely you know now that what happened to you doesn't matter to him or anyone else. He still loves you, and if you love him, that's all that matters. Oh, please, try to understand.
He saw me. He saw me.
Yes, he saw you, and you've lived through it. When you lose the fear that you now have of facing people, you'll have won your fight. Don't you see?
I see. I see everything. You planned his coming here to humiliate me. I hate you, Dr. Kildare. I hate you.
The story of Dr. Kildare will continue in just a moment. Now we continue with the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Dr. Gillespie's office, Nurse Parker. What? Those clinical reports on rehabilitation cases? Oh, yes. Dr. Gillespie will be sending them back to you today. Certainly.
Good afternoon, Parker. Dr. Gillespie in?
Oh, yes, Dr. Kildare. And is he anxious to see you?
Really? Trouble, Parker?
Trouble? Dr. Carew just left the office black as a thundercloud.
That's not an unusual occurrence in this office.
Dr. Carew was yelling that Gillespie had better let you off that Northrop case immediately.
Oh, I see. Thanks for the tip, Parker.
Parker! What's all the whispering for? Oh, there. Well, come in. Sit down. Now, tell me how you're coming on with the Northrop girl.
Well, Dr. Gillespie, I'm afraid I'm going to have to give up on this one.
Jimmy, you don't fool me. You've never admitted defeat in your life.
I haven't forgotten that Dr. Carew ordered you to take me off the case this morning.
Kildare?
No reason why you should get in trouble because of me.
I never get in trouble. I don't need anyone wiping my nose. I'll handle my own affairs in this hospital.
Just the same, I think I'd like to be relieved of the Northrop case.
Yes. As a matter of fact, that fool Carew was just here. Laid down the law. Well, maybe just as well.
You know who'll be taking over?
Haven't assigned another doctor yet. Might drop in on the girl myself for a day or two.
Good. And you can disregard all the basic mental therapeutic treatment. I've tried. I pleaded and cajoled. I tried and appealed to reason and intelligence. I was cruel and cold. Nothing drew the slightest response.
Kildare, I've removed you from the case, but I can still ask a staff member to accompany me when I visit a patient.
Dr. Gillespie, I don't really know why I worried about you getting in trouble. You go looking for it. I'd be delighted to accompany you.
Well, how are you today, Miss Northrop?
Hello, Dr. Gillespie. What is Dr. Kildare doing here? I thought he was relieved of my case.
Well, now, Kildare is showing me round until another doctor is assigned to you. It's just procedure. I have to learn all the facts. Let's say Kildare is a guest.
Not my guest. Dr. Kildare saved my life when he amputated my leg. I preferred to die. So I'm not grateful to him for what remains of me.
Miss Northrop, since I'm no longer your doctor, may I just say one word as a friend?
As a friend?
Yes. You seem to feel you have no value in society, but believe me, you have a place. A worthwhile place, and it's waiting for you whenever you make up your mind that you're ready. The sooner, the better.
Dr. Gillespie, make him get out. I don't have to listen to him now, do I?
Certainly not. Well, you heard the young lady.
What?
Kildare, I'm beginning to get the impression that you were derelict in your duty. There's no reason for Miss Northrop to be in such an emotional state.
Perhaps I was the wrong doctor for her.
You certainly were.
You certainly were.
I tried my best.
Your best wasn't good enough.
Not good enough, Kildare. Not good enough. Do you understand?
Yes, I quite understand.
Miss Northrop, I promise you won't have to see Dr. Kildare again. Is that better?
Much better.
You know, there's no reason for you to remain in your bed. As your doctor, I recommend that you get around a little.
No. I don't want even you to see me in my condition.
Oh, I don't want you to go outside this room. I just want you to be comfortable here. Warm? Why not sit over near the window?
I won't leave my bed.
You mean you don't have the courage? You wouldn't even do it if you were alone.
You said I didn't have to listen to him, Dr. Gillespie.
That's right. Kildare, you'll report to my office when we finish here.
All right, Doctor.
And don't you ever dare to accuse Miss Northrop of not having courage. If and when she wants to go to the window, I am sure she'll do so.
Yes. Yes. I think I'd like to go there now.
Good girl. Good girl.
There.
Now we'll just push you over here where you can get a little fresh air. There. Now, how does the outside world look to you? Going on as usual, just as you remember it?
Yes. Everything just as I... It's horrible. Horrible. Take me back to my bed.
What's the matter?
Those girls playing tennis. I can't stand it.
Well, Kildare, isn't that blonde girl down there Evelyn Williams?
Evelyn Williams?
Yes. Don't you remember?
Evelyn Williams. Yes, I do remember.
Kildare, where are you going?
I think I may have found an answer to that problem, Dr. Gillespie. I'm going to see Evelyn Williams.
Yes. You may have found an answer, Kildare.
Miss Northrup, I brought someone to see you.
No. I've told you I don't want to see anyone. You're no longer my doctor. Why do you keep coming back to torment me?
This is only a social visit from someone who has a lot in common with you.
Really?
Evelyn Williams, I'd like you to meet Marjorie Northrup.
Hello, Marjorie.
How do you do?
This is the girl you saw playing tennis on the court under your window.
I can't see that we have anything in common there, Dr. Kildare. But you play a very good game of tennis, Miss Williams.
Thank you. I was doing quite well up to 3 years ago. Almost made the finals in the women's singles. And then I had to learn all over again.
Oh? What happened?
Oh, I had an accident. An automobile accident.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to me.
Yes, Evelyn was a mighty lucky girl. She was out of the hospital and around again in no time.
I've often thought how fortunate I was not to lose both legs.
What did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned it, I guess.
You mean you actually have... Why, I don't believe it. This is another one of your tricks, Dr. Kildare.
No, believe me, it isn't, Miss Northrup. Although Evelyn certainly would fool anybody.
Well, I'm very flattered that you seem surprised, but... Well, I'll show you. Here. Look. It is. It is. Well, Margie, I understand. I was doubtful at first, too, and then amazed just as you are. Now I'm only very, very grateful.
And you play tennis as well as before?
Mm-hmm. Almost. I dance and ride, too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do you suppose... Do you think that I...
That you could do the same? Certainly. It only takes a great desire and a little strength of will.
And maybe more courage than I have.
Courage? Maybe. But I just got lonesome trying to hide from people. Then one day I took stock of myself. People wear glasses and they aren't ashamed. My best friend Alice wears a hearing aid and she's perfectly normal. So I said to myself, what have I got to lose? Well, here I am.
Do you suppose you could teach me to walk?
I'd be very happy to. But there's someone who could teach you much better than I if you'd allow him to.
Allow him to? Oh, of course I will. Who is it?
Dr. Kildare.
Oh. Dr. Kildare?
Yes, Miss Northrup?
You've asked me so many times to try. I think I'd like to now.
Good. Evelyn, would you help her?
Oh, of course, Doctor. Margie's very simple. There we are.
Now, stand up.
Oh, I can't. Evelyn, help me.
You'll need no more help now. Stand up.
I am standing.
Now, walk slowly toward me.
I can't.
Walk. You've been walking all your life. You have two legs just as you always had. Walk.
I can't. I knew I couldn't.
Now, you did fine for the first time.
I'll never make it, never. I wasn't meant to walk again.
I can't wait all day for this party of yours to come off, Kildare.
Mason should be along any minute, Dr. Gillespie.
I feel like a fool sitting here in the waiting room of my own hospital. They'll be sending me out on an ambulance call if I don't look out.
Here he comes now.
Dr. Kildare, I rushed right over as soon as I got your message. Is there something wrong with Marjorie?
Not a thing in the world, Mr. Mason. By the way, I'd like you to meet Dr. Gillespie, our chief of staff.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
How do you do, young man? Dr. Kildare here is treating us to one of his dramatic finishes.
Has Marjorie asked to see me, Dr. Kildare?
Yes, she has.
Oh, that's wonderful. May I go in?
That won't be necessary. She's coming down the corridor to meet you now.
Marjorie. Look, she's walking. Alone.
Will? Oh, Will.
Marjorie.
Oh, darling, I'm so happy.
Kildare?
Yes, Doctor.
Don't stand there gaping like an idiot. Come on, we've got work to do.
Of course, Dr. Gillespie, of course.
In just a moment, we will return to the story of Dr. Kildare. Now, once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Dr. Kildare, calling Dr. Kildare, report to the 5th floor.
Well, what are you waiting for, Kildare?
I thought I'd like to show you a little present I just received from Miss Northrop.
She sent you a present? Girl must be ill again.
Read the inscription.
To Dr. Kildare, with gratitude. Marjorie Northrop. Very impressive.
She made one mistake.
Mistake?
Yes, it should have read, to Dr. Gillespie with gratitude.
What in the world would she be grateful to me for?
You cured her.
Ah, you're talking nonsense, Kildare.
You planted Evelyn Williams in that tennis court, and you made sure Miss Northrop saw her.
Now, see here, Kildare. That's a pack of lies. Who told you a thing like that?
See you later, Dr. Gillespie.
Nosy Parker, that's who it was. Oh, wait till I get my hands on that woman. Nosy! Nosy! Where are you?
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. The story of Dr. Kildare is presented by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor picture That Forsyte Woman, starring Errol Flynn, Greer Garson, Walter Pitchin, Robert Young, and Janet Leigh. The program was directed by William P. Russo, with original music composed and conducted by Walter Schumann.
Undoubtedly has a headache or pain remedy that you swear by. But haven't you noticed that on some occasions it fails you? That there are times it does not seem to work? On these occasions, let me suggest that you try Anacin, for here is a remedy that I'm sure won't fail you. You'll find the fastest and most complete relief in Anacin you have ever experienced. The reason is simple. Anacin contains not one pain-soothing agent alone, but 4. One of which is in all probability the remedy you now customarily take to relieve pain. You can get Anacin at your druggist for a few cents. Your money back if you're not pleased. I'll spell the name. Anacin.
HOJO Radio, where the classics come alive.
The Adventures of the Saint, starring Vincent Price. based on characters created by Leslie Charteris and known to millions from books, magazines, and motion pictures, the Robin Hood of modern crime now comes to radio, starring Hollywood's brilliant and talented actor, Vincent Price, as the Saint.
Proof that the language of music is a truly universal one, Mr. Templar, is in the people gathered here. They run the gamut from saints to sinners. Would you not agree?
I would indeed, Mr. Opto. Won't you join me?
Oh, what? I accept with pleasure.
Fine.
Then you know me, Mr. Templar?
Well, if you promise to keep the deep, dark secret, I'll confess that I have bought tickets to Carnegie Hall from time to time. Piano concerts mostly, and those performed by Lauritz Opto primarily.
That is a pleasing compliment, Mr. Templar.
Well, it's understandable how I'd recognize a famous concert pianist like Lauritz Opto.
Thank you.
But the reverse is rather puzzling.
Then if you will keep the deep, dark secret, I shall confess. You were pointed out to me by a newspaper reporter seated at my table.
Which explains half the compliment. But why did you come to my table?
Why did you come here to this nightclub called the Birdcage, Mr. Templar?
Well, I could say because it reminds one of the Black Hole of Calcutta, but the real reason was to hear the piano music of Johnny Crawford.
Yes, precisely, as did I.
A Dixieland hepcat receiving recognition from a Carnegie Hall maestro?
Johnny Crawford was once my pupil, Mr. Templar.
Oh.
He had a magnificent technical grasp of classical music, but no artistic soul. He was a great disappointment to me. Nevertheless, I do not wish to see Johnny Crawford dead. That is why I have come to you.
Well, now, that's a rather macabre touch to an otherwise light-hearted evening.
Murder is always macabre, Mr. Templar.
So it's to be death by violence.
It is, and I shall tell you a great deal more about it at my home tomorrow morning, Mr. Templar. 637 Reseda Drive. I'm certain that you will be kind enough to be there.
So that's the kind of certainty that causes horse players to go broke, Mr. Opto.
Then let us say I'm playing a long shot. And I'm betting that among the saints and sinners present here, you are numbered among the former.
One question.
Yes?
Could you give me any idea as to why someone should desire to remove the aforesaid Johnny Crawford from the ranks of the living?
Oh, I can do better than that, Mr. Templar. I can give you the name of the person who will be responsible.
Oh, and that person?
A musical composer who has been dead for over 100 years. Ludwig van Beethoven.
Yes?
Well.
Should I say thank you or slap your face?
What do you think?
The slaps have it. What could I do for you?
You must be kidding.
And if you're here to see Mr. Opdahl, you must be Simon Templar.
Guilty. And you?
Mickey Clark, Mr. Opdahl's secretary.
Mickey Clark. Well.
Won't you lope in, Mr. Templar?
Oh, thanks. I could hardly refuse such an enthusiastic invitation. Well. Rachmaninoff prelude in C sharp. Is that the maestro playing?
It's not Jimmy Durante.
Oh.
The music room's at the far end of the foyer. Mr. Opdahl's expecting you. Come with me.
Thanks. I'll take advantage.
Oh, no. There's a shot.
Identification acknowledged. Come on, let's go.
Oh, what's happened in there?
Just stay behind me and let me find out first.
Mr. Templar.
Yeah. Oh, that was no prelude in C sharp being played in here, Mickey. It was a prelude to murder.
To murder?
Where do those French doors lead to?
Why, to the terrace. Why?
See if it isn't too late to help Mr. Opto while I...
Oh, no!
Well, it's nasty weather out anyway.
But aren't you going after him?
My halo wouldn't look too well on top of a shroud. Where's the nearest telephone?
Telephone.
Yeah, I know this comes as a great surprise, Mickey, but the police are rather fussy about these things.
Oh, yes, of course. The telephone's right up... Opdahl. He's not dead. He's trying to play something. He's trying...
Take it easy, Mickey. Take it easy. Opto, it's Simon Templar. Who shot you?
Do you know who shot you?
Can't talk, but he's trying to play.
Opto, can you hear me? It's Templar. Who shot you, man? Who shot...
Mr. Templar. Is it...
He is, Nicky. This time it's for sure.
Oh. What was he trying to say as he died? Tell us the name of the murderer.
One thing I've learned in this drab, weary life, my dear, is never to second-guess a dead man. Hey, what's this caught under the music rack?
It looks like a couple of torn bits of paper.
You thereby win your A for a cumin, Mickey.
Oh, I recognize that top one, Mr. Templar. It's personal notepaper used by Mr. Opdahl.
Who is, Paul?
Paul? Paul DeGage. He's Mr. Opdahl's concert manager. Why?
The name Paul is the only written word left on the page. Look, we might have a slightly better lead on this second bit of parchment.
Why, it's part of a music manuscript.
Yeah, and an old one, too, judging by the condition of the paper and the signature attached thereto. Ludwig van Beethoven.
Beethoven?
Mm-hmm, the popular tunesmith who left this mortal coil some 100 years ago. Do you think it's possible that the old boy came back? You sure you want to come along with me on this little jaunt, Mickey?
Lawrence Opdahl was a swell boss and a wonderful guy. If there's anything I can do to help you get the man who killed him, I'm going to do it.
And all the time I thought it was my personality that intrigued you. Well, let's hope I'm not as disappointed by Mr. Opdahl's concert manager, Paul DeGage.
I still can't believe it, Mr. Templar. Lawrence Opdahl dead. Murdered. Why would anyone want to murder Lawrence Opdahl?
That was going to be my question, Mr. DeGage. You don't suppose it was because he was going to tell me who wanted to murder Johnny Crawford, do you?
Johnny Crawford?
No.
Who is he?
No, you obviously don't suppose. Any other suggestions?
I'm sorry, Mr. Templar, but I'm so stunned by this news. Lawrence was going to play for me this very evening, and
I wasn't
now...
aware that Mr. Opdahl had a concert date for this evening, Mr. DeGage.
Well, it wasn't a concert engagement, Miss Clark. By a stroke of good fortune, I come into possession of an original musical manuscript of Beethoven's, Piano Sonata. And Lawrence was...
Did you say Beethoven?
Yes. It's an original that's never been published. It was known to exist, but was lost en route to the publishers in 1824, and it never turned up again until just recently.
Why, it must be worth a fortune, Mr. DeGage.
Well, it is quite valuable, yes. I'm going to offer it for sale to a small group of collectors in Coronado this evening. Lawrence had agreed to play it for me, but
you
now...
wouldn't happen to have this manuscript here, would you?
Oh, yes. Yes, it's in my safe.
Do you mind if we take a look at it?
Why, of course not. I'll have it for you in just a moment. It's a remarkable document. Seems to be no question as to its authenticity.
And that always helps. How did you happen to get hold of it?
A refugee from Vienna brought it to this country some years ago. Just discovered it among some old family possessions he brought along with him. Doesn't know how it got there. I'm selling it for him. There you are. Please handle it carefully, Mr. Templar. It's quite old and fragile. It would probably tear quite easily.
That wouldn't be an apology for the fact that it's torn right now, would it?
Torn? Why, I'm not certain I understand.
The missing signature should supply the missing meaning.
Missing signature? You mean that... Oh, good heavens. Well, you really had me worried for a moment, Mr. Templar. But as you can see, this manuscript is in perfect condition. There's the original signature. Ludwig van Beethoven.
He's right, Simon. What about that torn piece?
Exactly what I was going to say, Mickey. Thanks for your trouble, Mr. DeGage. Sorry I bothered you.
It's not a question of bothering me, Mr. Templar. I'm merely puzzled. I don't understand what a Beethoven manuscript might have to do with the murder of Lawrence Opdahl.
And that's the reason I'm sorry I bothered you, Mr. DeGage. Now, neither have I.
Thank heaven the police are gone. I don't think I could have returned here. Mr. Opdahl was told.
I'm not too happy about homicidal surroundings myself, Mickey.
Well, then why come back at all?
I find myself with an ungovernable impulse to indulge in musical composition, and more of that later, Mickey.
It would appear we have an unexpected eavesdropper amongst us.
An unexpected...
Mm-hmm.
Oh?
Oh, don't stop now, Sam.
If you don't mind, I'd just as soon. The farther away I am from lethal weapons, the better I like it.
That is a gun in his hand, isn't it, Simon?
Genus automatic pistol, species caliber 45.
That's very scientific, chum. So you better hand over that paper.
Paper?
Don't play coy, chum. The paper you took Marto's music on.
Oh, that. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm saving autographs. Never had one of Beethoven's before.
Yeah, I bet you never had your tummy blasted by a 45 slug before, either.
True. I think I'd better take that gun. No, you don't. Better
chum.
give it to me.
All right, chum, I will.
Simon! Oh, you killed him.
Shut up.
He said you killed him. You killed him.
You said to shut up, didn't I? Now stand back while I look at that paper. Should be somewhere. Yeah, inside pocket, huh? Thanks, chum.
Pretty brave with a gun, aren't you?
Yeah. Better retire from the music business, sister. From where I sit, it don't look too healthy. So long, baby.
Simon, please answer me. Are you all right, Simon? Answer me, please.
I must speak to my barber about this.
Simon.
Somehow the patting and massage I get after a shave doesn't give me anything like the sensation I'm getting now.
Simon, you're all right.
Well, I will be when the boys operating the trip hammers on my skull knock off at 5 o'clock.
Why didn't you let me know? Why did you lie there playing possum like that?
I doubt that a possum would appreciate the lovely picture you made as you bent over me, but as for me, well, I was in no hurry to wake up. What happened to Chum?
He departed with your prize autograph after creasing your skull with a bullet and threatening me with the same.
A lovable soul, isn't he? My only consolation is that his aim is far worse than even his intentions.
Simon, for Pete's sake, come across. So far, I don't understand a thing.
Which puts us both in the same boat. And speaking of boats, come along, Mickey. We've got an appointment with one.
How nice. Any particular kind?
Oh, yeah, very particular kind. A ferry boat that's going to take us across the Bay to Coronado.
Simon, this ferry boat is like a ghost ship.
Oh, now don't tell me that a little fog is getting you down, Mickey.
Little fog. It's so thick we can't even see the rail from here. Why are you so insistent on getting over to Coronado tonight?
Paul DeGage is selling a Beethoven manuscript to a bunch of collectors there, remember? One of my more famous hunches tells me that among those present should be a guy for whom capital punishment was invented.
I hope it's better than the 2 hunches you had on that torn manuscript.
It has to be. Hey,
what is it, Simon?
A piano in the lounge. Do you hear it?
Yes. Rather good.
It should be. The pianist is a former pupil of Lawrence Ockdall's, now holding forth at a dingy dive called the Birdcage.
The Birdcage? Simon! You mean Johnny Crawford?
Well, if it isn't, he should sue for plagiarism. That's his personal theme song.
Johnny Crawford aboard this ferry boat. Now, why would he be going to Coronado?
That's a good question, Mickey. Suppose we ask Johnny for the answer, huh? The door to the lounge should be somewhere over here.
Maybe it is, but it looks like you'll have to navigate by radar to find it.
Somebody's coming out on deck now. All we have to do is find that.
All right. Come down. Everything's going to be okay. I hope you're right, Jensen. I've got the creeps for fair. Never mind it. I know I'm right. Just don't get excited. We got the signature, didn't we? Who's going to know the difference now? I know it, Jensen. Maybe someone else does, too. Oh, forget it, Johnny, will you? I'll meet you at the Birdcage when it's all over. The Birdcage. Johnny Crawford at the Birdcage.
What are you kicking about? It's a living, isn't it?
Oh, sure.
Pretty soon we'll all be in a heavy sugar. Now, just you wait.
Oh, you better be right up.
They're gone, Simon. Hidden in the fog. Who were they?
Didn't you recognize one of the voices? It was the friendly one who tried to part my hair with a 45.
What was it all about?
That's the second question I have to ask Crawford. You wait here, Mickey. I'll be right back.
Simon, you can't. Jensen's got a gun.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll keep my fingers crossed. I'll be seeing you.
Simon, I can't stay here alone. I'm allergic to fog. Oh, you crazy fool. I can't even see you.
Oh.
Simon, what was that? no. Simon! Help! Help me!
Man overboard! Man overboard! Man overboard! Man overboard!
There you go, mister. You got him. Grab the Fernando. I have it, Taylor. Many thanks. Hey, come on over here. Get over here.
Simon, are you all right?
Oh, frankly, no. I'm jammed. My head aches. I've swallowed liberal quantities of seawater, which I found much too salty, and I have a terrific yen to play the piano.
To play the... Oh, no, not again.
Mickey, my dear, any psychiatrist will warn you of the dangers of inhibiting a creative urge. I think I'd better get into that lounge and get this one out of my system. Children make a grave mistake, Mickey, by not paying attention to music lessons. Now, if I'd only listened to Professor Heinrich Wurzel,
If you'd only listened to me, Jensen or Crawford, or whoever it was, wouldn't have hit you on the head. And you'd be rational now, rather than non-compass mentis.
Oh, you shouldn't speak so harshly of whoever it was, Mickey. When he tossed me into the briny, for some reason I thought of music, piano music. And I think I've got something. If I could only find the right combination.
Personally, I think you should try to find that psychiatrist you mentioned earlier. More attention to your noodle and less to noodling might result in getting...
Mickey, you've jumped to a big, fat, and incorrect conclusion. Listen to this.
It's hardly what I'd call a musical tour de force.
Mickey, you're not listening. I'll give you one more chance. There. Sound familiar to you?
Not in the least. But then I didn't take lessons from Professor Heinrich Wurzel, which might account for my... Wait a minute. That phrase. Isn't that what Lawrence Octal played just before he died?
You see, you should have studied under Professor Wurzel.
Oh.
He would have given you 100 in musical identification.
Now you're not trying to tell me that little musical phrase means something, Simon.
Now, let's see now. We'll be in Coronado at 6.
Yeah.
That should give me about 2 hours to prove its meaning to you.
Sounds like rather complicated procedure.
Oh, the procedure itself will be simple, but first I have to clutter it up with a call to Lieutenant Flanagan and a little visit to the public library.
I can only say, Simon, that I trust the past hour and a half in that library was more entertaining for you than it was for me.
Oh, it was, Mickey, it was. You'd be surprised at the amount of interesting information one can garner in a library.
Maybe I wouldn't be so surprised if you'd share some of it with me.
Well, I learned the very interesting tidbit that Ludwig van Beethoven lived from 1770 to 1827. That he wrote 9 symphonies.
Amazing.
That he had a sketchbook containing a mass in C sharp, a piano sonata, a fugue on Bach, and...
Oh, Simon, please. If that's all you can tell me about an hour and a half of wasted time...
Well, not quite. I could mention the fact that one of the more incorrect books on Beethoven was written by a John Masefield Crawford.
Well, what difference does it make who wrote the... John Masefield Crawford?
Mm-hmm.
Could that be our Johnny Crawford by any chance?
Could be.
An authority on Beethoven?
A poor one, but an authority.
So what?
So this. We're going to make a bid on a Beethoven manuscript, and don't be too surprised if we win it. And a murderer as well.
There's Poldy Gage up on the rock. Looks as though the bidding's about to begin.
You couldn't ask for better timing from a metronome.
All right, gentlemen. Quiet, please. Quiet. This was to be a very happy occasion, gentlemen, as you all know. For we were to present here tonight an original, authentic, and hitherto unknown manuscript of a piano sonata by Beethoven. In honor of the occasion, I prevailed upon my dear friend Lawrence Octal to be the first to play the sonata. Unfortunately, as most of you now know, he has met with a tragic end. In deference to Lawrence's memory, I have not sought another pianist to substitute for him. I am certain you all share my feelings.
And so I'd be very happy to play the sonata for you, Mr. DeGage.
Simon, are you crazy?
I'm not certain I quite understand the meaning of this interruption, Mr. Temple.
Oh, I wouldn't let that bother me, Mr. DeGage. Now, as soon as I reach that piano... There.
Well, really, Mr. Templar,
it's quite simple, Mr. DeGage. I'm going to substitute for Lawrence Opdahl.
You? Why, I didn't know that you were a pianist, Mr. Templar.
Oh, sure. One of the best. Listen to this.
Mr. Templar, there can only be two explanations for this outrageous action on your part. You're either drunk or mad. I shall have to ask you to leave this hall at once.
Now, surely, Mr. DeGage, you wouldn't want me to leave so soon, not before I've told these gentlemen that Beethoven never wrote the music on that manuscript you have for sale.
Beethoven never wrote?
That manuscript is a fake. No such piano sonata was ever written by Beethoven or lost on its way to the publishers.
This is preposterous. The record of that sonata is in Beethoven's own sketchbook.
Oh, I'll admit that a piano sonata is noted in the sketchbook, yes. But if the person who forged this manuscript had looked far enough, he'd have learned that the original was written for 4 hands as a duet, not for 2.
Well, I can't believe it.
This manuscript is a forgery, written by a former so-called expert named Johnny Crawford.
But if this is so, do you have any proof, Mr. Templar?
Lawrence Opdahl's death is proof enough. He discovered the forgery, but then he made a grave mistake. He thought Crawford's life would be in danger to prevent the knowledge from coming out. But it was his own life that was taken.
Then it was Crawford who killed him?
Opdahl told me who killed him, Mr. DeGage.
Opdahl?
He couldn't talk, but he could play. And he played 6 notes. These notes. Those notes spell the name of the murderer, a name that will be verified by his accomplices when they're picked up by the police. And for the edification of those who never studied under Professor Heinrich Wurzel, the notes...
You'll never hang this on me, Templar.
Now, Simon, he's got a gun.
Well, then I'd better...
Relieve him. I'll kill you for this, Templar. I'll kill you.
Oh, that's such a revolting thought to gain. I'd better not risk the faint possibility. Now, what was that you were saying, Mr. DeGage?
Simon, he can't say anything. He's out cold.
Come to think of it, so he is. And look at the time, just 8 o'clock. I told you you'd have your answer in 2 hours, didn't I?
Then the whole idea was DeGage's from the start, and Johnny Crawford and Jensen were working for him.
Mickey, why don't you stop your intellect from taking over for your emotions?
Simon. Then Crawford must have forged the manuscript. He was a good enough pianist and a semi-authority on Beethoven to do it. But how did Mr. Opdahl come into it?
You know, they say that boat rides are wonderful therapy in cases of inhibited romance.
Of course. Crawford was his pupil. I'll bet he got cold feet and showed Mr. Opdahl a copy of the manuscript. And Mr. DeGage got wind of it, killed Mr. Opdahl, and made off with the copy. Only part of it was torn off of the music rack.
Oh, this blessed fog. It makes everything so warm and cozy.
But it must have been the idea of a second manuscript that tipped you off, huh? Particularly when Jensen was so anxious to get the torn signature.
I wonder if you'd still feel like slapping my face.
And, of course, I finally got what you meant about those 6 notes Mr. Opdahl played. They were DeGage, spelling DeGage.
Yes. Mickey, when are you going to stop being logical?
Oh, son. Right now.
You have been listening to another adventure of the Saint, the Robin Hood of modern crime. And now, here is our star, Vincent Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the 4 horsemen is still riding across Europe, scarring the bodies and spirits of millions with brutal hooves. His name is Hunger, and his victims are legion. Their cries for help are sounding right outside our door. Despite increased supplies of certain foods and improved crop conditions, Europe's need for more food is urgent and immediate. Americans can help now by sending food packages to Europe's hungry ones through the auspices of CARE, a non-profit humanitarian organization. CARE, spelled C-A-R-E, stands for Cooperative for American Remittances to Europe. It is composed of the country's 26 top welfare agencies, all operating to drive the specter of hunger from Europe. You can aid in this work by sending a $10 remittance to CARE, New York. A 21.5-pound food package will then be sent to any designated person in 15 countries. Or if you wish, CARE will select a recipient. Smaller food packages are available for lesser amounts. The address again is CARE, New York. Remember, they still need care. This is Vincent Price inviting you to join us again next week at this same time for another exciting adventure of the Saint. Good night.
Tonight's script of The Saint was written by Sidney Marshall. Our cast included Alice Frost, Fritz Feld, Ted Osborne, Tony Barrett, and George Neese. The music was composed and conducted by Von Dexter. The Saint, based on characters created by Leslie Charteris, is a James L. Safier production and is directed by Helen Mack. Vincent Price is soon to be seen in the Universal International picture Curtain Call at Cactus Creek. All you Saint fans will be glad to know that the Saint comic books are on sale at all newsstands. Your announcer, Doug Gourlay. Monday night brings you two great adventure mystery programs side by side on most NBC stations. You'll hear Night Beat and then Top Secret. Lovely Ilona Massey stars in Top Secret, the story of espionage during the last war. Be sure to tune here tomorrow night for Night Beat and Top Secret. Next, Sam Spade, then Summer Symphony on NBC.
I'd like to say a few words about health. Over 50% of all family colds can be traced to uneven heat or overheating in the home. So protect your family's health by burning blue coal, America's finest anthracite. Then you'll be sure of steady, lasting, healthful heat at less cost. The next time you order fuel, ask for blue coal by name. You don't have to get a full supply. Your nearest blue coal dealer will be glad to send you a trial ton. Phone him tomorrow.
Keep it tuned right here to HOJO Radio for more classic old-time radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Granite Furniture Company, with stores in Sugar House, Murray, and Provo, presents...
The Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the series of radio dramas dedicated to the supernatural, the unusual, and the unknown. Come with me, my friends. We shall descend to the world of the unknown and forbidden, down to the depths where the veil of time is lifted, and the supernatural reigns as king. Come with me and listen to the tale of Death in the Bayous.
The Granite Furniture Company brings you the Hall of Fantasy. Listen now to original tales of the imagination and some of the classics of the supernatural as we take you down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy to the mysterious realms of the unknown. These are stories of eerie and fantastic thrills brought to you by your friends at the Granite Furniture Stores. You know, spring is practically here and the centennial summer is not far away, so now's the time to cheer up your home with something new from the Granite Furniture Company. You'll be amazed at how easily you can improve the beauty and comfort of your home with small items here and there, such as a new floor lamp, a new lounge chair, a table or so, or some other seemingly unimportant item. The Granite Furniture Stores in Sugar House, Murray, and Provo are daily receiving new stocks for spring home redecoration. And now you may choose from these delightful new things at prices well within your budget. Go in tomorrow and see for yourself. And be sure to listen a little later in tonight's program for an important announcement from the Granite Furniture Stores in Sugar House, Murray, and Provo. And now for tonight's story, an original radio drama by Robert Olson entitled Death in the Bayous. Death strikes quickly along the bayou. Who's to say the deed was murder?
According to this map, we should be nearing that plantation.
Oh, I'll be glad to get there in a chance to freshen up a bit. It's a long drive from New York.
Ah, very true, Mrs. Crane. A long ride and a dull one. That is, as far as the scenery is concerned.
I think it's been lovely.
No, if you say so, said the henpecked groom. But the Adirondacks have this beat a million ways. Look at this swampland. Whatever made you want to spend a honeymoon down here anyway?
Oh, Tom would have been hurt if we'd refused his invitation.
He'd have been hurt. Well, whose honeymoon is this anyway?
Oh, now, Reggie, it's really charming. And you'll like Tommy.
You've been down here quite a lot?
I spent 2 summers with the Bonds, and they're really wonderful friends. And Tom is...
Thomas Bond, the fifth?
Yes, he's a dear. He wanted me to marry him once.
Oh, fine. We spend our honeymoon with one of your old suitors. We'll probably sit around the family hearth and glower at each other.
Oh, no, that's over now. He's nothing more than a friend, a very dear, very rich, and I'm afraid a very lonely one.
Now, I must be a fool to be able to forget you, Mad. I know I never could.
Don't you dare ever try.
No danger, beautiful. But methinks I see a sign of life in this forsaken waste.
Where?
Oh, you see those lights ahead?
Reggie, this is it. This is Tyne Oaks.
The welcoming committee. Say, that mastiff looks as if he'd like a pound or two of leg. Now, take it easy, Hound. We've been invited. Hello there. Would you let us in, please?
Who's there?
Oh, it's Amos. Amos, this is Miss Madeline.
Why, Miss Madeline, hello, child. Of course, Master Tom's expecting you all. He's pacing the floor right now, he is.
Amos, this is my husband, Master Reginald Crane.
Yes, Master Reginald. Welcome to Tyne Oaks. You'll just drive up to the house. Master Tom is powerful anxious to see you all.
Well, Mad, this is wonderful, really wonderful. I thought you'd never get here. And this is, I presume, the lucky gentleman?
Yes, Tommy. This is Reggie.
Of course, Reggie. Well, take your things off and join me in the drawing room for a little drink. Lena, take Mrs. Crane's things.
Yes, Master Tom. Thank you, Lena. I'd very much like to clean up.
Let me see now. That's one, and another. There's your drinks. Amos, take our guest things to their rooms.
His rooms? Why, this is a honeymoon, old man. I believe it's legal to...
Of course, it seems strange to think of Mad as being married. Forgive me, please.
Oh, sure thing. I'm a little dazed about it myself. Fabulous luck, you know. Did you ever see anybody so lovely in your life?
No, Reggie, please.
No. Never have I seen a more lovely creature. Never. Too lovely for you, old fella. Much too lovely for anybody.
Well, excuse me. I'm getting a little self-conscious in here. Tom, how are things at dear old Tyne Oaks?
Well, it's not what it used to be, Mad. Echoes of the old days. Since the Colonel and my dear mother died, well, it's a lonely old place. Now it's yours, Mad.
Oh, thank you, Tom. It was nice of you to ask us down here.
Well, I'll be going now.
Where are you going?
I moved to the guest house this morning.
You mean this entire house
is a bridal suite.
Pardon me, Master Reggie, but do all these things come in?
I'll be right with you, Amos. Excuse me for a minute, will you, Mad?
Don't forget my black overnight case.
Okay, I won't.
So you did it anyway.
Did what, Tom?
Married that...
Tom.
I told you I'd never let anyone else have you.
Tom, what are you saying?
Your pardon, Mad. I forgot myself.
I thought you'd forgotten that and it's all over.
Forgotten? No, not forgotten. Good night. Forgotten. Often forgotten, is it? Oh, Mad, you should never have let me love you so much.
Well, my pretty, here's your precious black case.
Thank you, Reginald.
Oh, why so formal? Why, during our courtship, you called me Reggie. Now we're married, it's Reginald. I'm going home to Father.
Oh, please, Reggie, don't joke. Maybe we should have gone to the Adirondacks.
Oh, nonsense. All I had to offer you there was a rustic little 3-room cabin. But this plantation all to ourselves. It's like something out of Gone with the Wind.
That cabin sounds heavenly to me, Reggie.
Now, wait a minute, beautiful. A honeymoon is no time to start second-guessing. This is it. This is what we dreamed about. Yes, sir, by golly, I'm going to make our honeymoon at Tyne Oaks the best either of us ever had.
You expect more, then?
Oh, I certainly do.
Well, mighty square of you to tell me about it.
We shall have as many honeymoons as there are days in the year.
Oh, Reggie, you're a nitwit, but a charming one.
What is it?
May I see you a minute, Miss Madeline?
Yes, Lena, come in.
Excuse me, I didn't know the master was here.
Oh, don't be shy, Lena. This is Master Reggie, my husband.
How are you, Lena?
Nobody the same at Tyne Oaks. You shouldn't have come down here, Miss Madeline.
Lena, what do you say that for?
Pine Oaks has always been my second home.
That when Pine Oaks was a home for everybody. It changed since the Colonel and Massa's Bond died. Massa Tom changed. He get crazy, drunk, and beat us.
Beat you? Why?
There ain't no why, Miss Madeline. He just mean. I get so scared of him. And tonight, well, Miss Madeline, he's acting awful.
Lena, I won't have you saying such things. Now, you run along, or I'll tell Master Tom.
Oh, no, please don't tell Master Tom, please.
He'd what?
Please don't tell him.
Then don't let me hear you talking like that again. I'm ashamed of you.
Yes, and Lena medicine fool. Lena should be dead.
Well,
Tommy.
Now, Tommy sounds to me like a problem child.
He was. Oh, but he's settled down now to this quiet life of a plantation owner.
Who knows the soul the lines of the souls of men?
Well, Reggie, what do you mean?
Only that he still loves you and hates me. Now, I could see that right away. He wanted to put us in separate rooms. Can you imagine it?
Yes, Reggie, I think you're right. Well, that's what I was going to tell you. While you were out there, he said something very strange. It frightened me.
Well, what did he say?
He talked as if he's forbidden me to marry you.
Oh, he did, huh? Had he ever said anything to you about our marriage?
Nothing whatever. That's what startled me.
Well, it strikes me, my pretty, that we're... Skip it.
What, Reggie?
No, nothing. Nothing at all. Say, come on out here on the balcony, Mad.
Oh, there's that moon again. And the jasmine. Oh, Reggie, isn't it lovely?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't?
No. Anything lovely outside of you is just too dull to attract my attention right now.
Then you retract your threat to go home to Father?
Oh, home was never like this. What do you say we stop reading weird meanings into Tom's words and give him credit for this beautiful honeymoon mansion? This is really something, Mad. It's got that cabin beat a mile.
I'll bet that little cabin is wonderful.
Well, I built it. What was that? That sounds like the dog that greeted us at the front gate. Now, what's he doing out in the swamps this time of night?
Well, if Prince is in the swamp, Tom's there, too.
No, revise the question. What's Tom doing out in the swamp this time of night? Hey, what's that? There's something wrong out there, Mad. I'm going to see what it is.
No, Reggie, don't go out there.
No, I've got to see.
Reggie, come back!
Oh, Reggie, you fool. You don't even have a gun. Go on back. Go back to your bride, you nitwit. Go back. Uh-oh. The sentry. Nice doggy,
Prince,
nice.
come here. Down, Prince.
Tom, what was that scream? I thought maybe I might help.
It's Lena. She's dead.
Dead? But we were... Why, only a few minutes ago we were...
Death strikes quickly in the bayous, Reggie. Now, will you help me get her out of here?
Oh, sure, but I want you to tell me what happened to her.
Later, Reggie. Stay on the way. Now, come on out here.
Just like that? Well, it looks pretty muddy to me. Is there some way around?
No, Reggie, there's no way around. Are you afraid of getting your feet wet?
No. Well, okay. Here goes. Hey, I went down to my waist. I seem to be stuck. You'll have to give me a hand, Tom.
A hand? I don't dare give you a hand, Reggie. You're in a pit of quicksand.
Quicksand? Why didn't you warn me?
I forgot, Reggie.
Tom, I can't get loose. Help me.
I felt sorry for you when Madeline got word that you were a German prisoner. And then when word came through that you'd been killed trying to escape, Madeline was broken-hearted.
Tom, get me out of this.
It was I who dried her tears, Reggie. Madeline finally promised to marry me. They set the date, even sent out the invitations. And then you came back from your grave. That, Reggie, was very inconsiderate of you.
I'm sinking, Tom. Do something.
Do something? When you were dead, I headed the list with Madeline. When you're really dead, I'll head it again.
Tom, get me out of here. Madeline's bound to know she'll hate you for the rest of your life.
Hate me? Perhaps, but she'll be mine, Reggie. She'll be mine.
No.
Reggie, you're in pretty deep. You're in pretty deep, Reggie. Almost to your chin.
Tom, you won't get away with... Oh, Madeline,
Reggie!
Here, Madeline.
Reggie?
No, Madeline, it's Tom.
Oh, Tom, where's Reggie?
Reggie? I thought he was with you. That's where I'd be if you were my bride.
He came out here to... Oh, help me find him, Tom. I'm afraid to have him out in the swamps alone.
Sure, Mad. I'll help you hunt for him. But don't come out here.
Why not?
I'll come to you. There. You almost stepped in a quicksand pit.
Quicksand?
Yeah. Very treacherous, you know.
You are listening to Death in the Bayou in tonight's journey down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy, presented by the Granite Furniture Company with stores in Sugar House, Murray, and Provo. Well, here's the special announcement we mentioned a few minutes ago from the Granite Furniture stores in Sugar House, Murray, and Provo. Just received another new shipment of 9x12 rugs. Yes, you heard correctly. Another new shipment of 9x12 rugs at the Granite Furniture Company. You may choose from a wide variety of colors and patterns. And in addition to these new 9x12 rugs, you may now choose from an excellent selection of Wilton and Axminster wall-to-wall carpeting. Choose from more than 20 rolls. And you know that rugs and carpeting have been very difficult to get. And because of better buying connections, the Granite Furniture stores have scooped the market. So buy early tomorrow. Rugs and carpeting just received at the Granite Furniture stores in Sugar House, Murray, and Provo. Now back to tonight's story, an original radio drama by Robert Olson entitled Death in the Bayou.
Who is it?
It's Tom, Madeline. May I come in?
Oh, yes, Tom, please do.
Madeline, is there anything I can do?
Oh, Tom, help me find Reggie. Where could he have gone?
The bayous have many hiding places. If he's lost, we do our best to find him.
What happened out there tonight?
Happened? What do you mean?
There was a scream. That's why Reggie went out. He thought someone was in trouble. Now both Reggie and Lena are missing. What happened?
These are treacherous swamps, Madeline. Maybe Lena was caught in the quicksand pit. It wouldn't be the first time it happened, even at Town Oaks. It's no place for anyone who isn't acquainted with every foot of it.
Then you think Reggie
I don't know, Madeline. Quicksand leaves no traces.
Where were you when Lena cried out?
I must have been in my shower. The first thing I heard was Prince's barking.
What did you see when you reached the quick pit?
Just Prince raising up an awful clamor about something.
Is there anything we could do? Well, make sure
about the pit? We've never been able to find out how deep that pit really is. I'm afraid it would be a heartbreaking task and fruitless, Madeline.
Well, and what can we do? You have some hounds, don't you?
Bloodhounds? They went out with slavery. I have some hunting hounds, but, well, we could try it, I guess.
Oh, then let's do it, Tom.
First thing in the morning. Get a good night's sleep. Bright and early we'll start.
No, I want to start right now. Oh, I couldn't sleep knowing I was doing nothing.
You really loved him, didn't you?
Love. Oh, I do love him, Tom. I don't want to live without him.
You know, all I ever asked of life was to be loved that much. Get your rest, Mad. I'll take the dogs and see what I can dig up.
Tom!
I'm sorry, Mad. I didn't think. We both need a drink. Here, I'll pour one. Drink this, Mad. You'll feel better and sleep better.
Oh, thank you, Tommy. You're sweet.
It's beginning to get light in the east. I'll soon be able to see where I'm going.
Let me go with you.
No, Mad. There's nothing you could do, and I don't want something to happen to you, too. You stay here.
Oh, I guess you're right. I'm getting a bit drowsy already.
I know. I'll put a little sleeping powder in your drink. It'll calm your nerves.
Right you are. Oh, my arms feel like window weights. I'm so sleepy. So very sleepy.
That's right, Mad. Sleep. Sleep, Mad. Sleep.
The Adirondacks, Reggie. Oh, it would have been a lovely honeymoon.
Madeline, what have I done to you? If you've only loved me. I couldn't expect you to know what a difference it always made to this old place to have you here. And how desolate it became the moment you left. Even now, as you sleep, Town Oaks has an enchantment, a charm it never had at any other time. Is it my fault if I love you too much? What are the rules, Madeline? Is it all right for me to go mad with longing in these stinking swamps while you and some other man live life like a musical comedy? I couldn't do it, Mad. Not because you love me too little, but because I love you far too much. Oh, forgive me, Madeline. Loneliness is too bitter. As long as Reggie lived, I could never hope to be anything better than half dead. Poor old Lena. That was never meant to be. But she tried to warn you and drive you away forever. That I could never allow to happen. Yes, Madeline, I killed for you. But I'll do it again and again until I know you're mine. The fog is forming over the bayous. Another day will soon be here. What will it bring for you and me, Madeline? How can I still the heartbreak that weeps inside you, the longing for the lost one? Reggie's gone, it's true. Reggie will never come back. I destroyed him. But how can I destroy the memory of him?
How, unless I destroy the mind in which that memory is embedded? Open your eyes, Matt.
Oh, where am I?
In your room. You thought you were asleep. You weren't. I put nothing in your drink. I only suggested that.
But I have been asleep.
Asleep, I suggested to you only that. You act on my suggestion now, don't you?
Yes.
You believe in me, don't you?
Yes.
Then listen carefully to what I have to say. This is what is known as post-hypnotic suggestion. You will obey me. You know that, don't you?
Yes, I know that.
Then listen and don't forget.
But that light, it hurts my eyes.
You see a light. I am that light, Madeline. I am the light. If that light ever bothers you, all you have to do is come closer to it. Does it bother you now?
Yes.
Then come closer. That's it. Closer yet. Now, does it bother you?
Yes, it hurts my eyes. It's too bright.
Then come closer. Now what do you see?
You. I see you. You're very close.
Then the light is what?
The light is you.
And if the light bothers you, what do you do?
Come to the light. Come to you.
That's it. You come closer to me. Now remember this. That light is all the pain you know. There is no other, no other. Now what is that light?
Pain. It's all the pain.
And what do you do if you feel pain?
I come closer to you.
Right. You won't forget that.
No, I won't forget.
All right, Madeline. Now listen carefully. Reggie is pain. Every time you think of Reggie, you'll come to me. Do you hear that? Come to me. I am Reggie. I am pain. I am the light. You'll remember that.
Yes.
Good. Now, Madeline, wake up.
Oh, hello, Tom. How long have I been asleep?
Not long. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel a little strange, Tom.
Well, how do you mean, strange?
I feel as if I'd forgotten something, but I don't know what it could be.
But I'll be downstairs, Mad. Join me as soon as possible.
Tom, wait.
Well, what is it?
I couldn't see you for a moment.
What do you mean?
Just then, when I looked at you,
Yes?
I saw nothing but a blinding glare of light. I must be going mad. I can't seem to think. I have the feeling that now more than any time in my life, I must think. I must think. What is it I've forgotten? Oh, think, Madeline, think. I've never felt like this before in my life, but then how have I felt in my life? I can't remember that. What happened to me? I want to do something. There's something I must know. What is it? What is it? Who is it?
It's Amos, Miss Madeline. Amos. Could I talk to you a minute?
Amos. Who's Amos? Maybe he can help me. Come in.
Miss Madeline, I can't find Lena. Lena disappeared last night. Do you know where she is?
Lena? Who's Lena?
Who is she? Why, she's Lena, Miss Madeline.
Amos, what am I doing here?
What's that?
What am I doing here? I'm sick. I can't seem to remember. Amos, where's that light coming from?
What light, Miss Madeline?
That light behind you. It's blinding.
Amos, what are you doing here?
I looked for Lena, Master Tom. She's gone. She didn't come to the house last night. Do you know where she is?
Of course not. But if Lena is lost, we'll find her. Now, don't bother Miss Madeline about it. She isn't feeling well.
Oh, I don't mind, Tom. Stay here, Amos, and talk to me.
I told you not to bother Miss Madeline. Now get out of here.
Yes, Master Tom. Amos go, but Amos find Lena. Amos find Lena.
Get out, you tramp. Get out of here before I hit you.
Yes, sir. Amos go, but Amos find Lena.
Tom, will you help me? I can't seem to remember anything.
You need a lot of rest. Look at me, Madeline.
Yes?
What do you see?
Why, your face is...
It's what?
It's the face I've been trying to remember. Who are you?
Come closer.
Yes?
Now what do you see?
Why, you're Tom.
Good. Now sleep, Madeline, sleep.
But that face I saw a moment ago. Oh, would you let me see it again?
I said sleep.
Yes, I'm asleep. But I must remember, too. I must remember.
Good. She's asleep. I must act quickly. Tonight we'll sleep away from here. We'll go on a long trip. She'll never have need to remember. I'll give her a completely new life. Tonight we'll drive out of here. We'll go to Cuba. That's it. We'll go to Cuba and keep on going.
Reggie. Reggie, where are you?
She's talking in her sleep. She remembers everything I told her to forget. But she doesn't know it.
Reggie. Reggie, I can't hear you very well. What is it? What are you trying to tell me?
She's talking to someone. She's sitting up. Her eyes are wide open.
Louder, Reggie. Where are you? I can't hear you. I didn't hear you, Reggie.
In the pit.
The pit?
Madeline, wake up, Madeline.
Take that light out of my eyes.
Look, Madeline, look.
Tom. Oh, Tom, I was dreaming.
You were? That's strange. You haven't been asleep.
I haven't.
No, Madeline, you've been right here talking to me all the time.
But, Tom... Oh, what's the matter with me? I'd sooner be dead than this way. Why can't I remember anything?
You have no memory, Madeline. It's been taken away from you.
Who took it away? Why? Oh, just when I need to remember.
I took it away, Madeline.
You? Why?
Because you're about to learn something that will have killed us both.
What was it?
You'll know soon enough. Until then, don't try to remember.
Miss Madeline, Miss Madeline.
Who is it?
It's Amos, Miss Madeline. I must see you right away.
Come in, Amos.
Miss Madeline, you gotta get out of here.
Get out? Why?
Master Tom's in a killing mood. He just tried to kill me.
Oh, Amos, what are you saying? Tom wouldn't kill you.
Yes, he would, Miss Madeline. I followed him out in the bayou. I saw him with Lena.
Who's Lena?
You remember Lena, Miss Madeline? She's Lena. She's my Lena.
I seem to remember, yet I don't. Oh, tell me, Lena. Tell me more about her. Why should I remember her?
You should remember Lena because, well, Lena's your friend. Lena tried to help you. Now she's dead. My Lena dead, Miss Madeline. Master Tom killed her. I see him with her down in the bayou.
Amos, I can't see you. It's that light again. Amos, be careful. The light is behind you.
Amos, I told you to stay away from Miss Madeline while you're here.
I saw you, Master Tom. I saw you bury Lena in the bayou. You killed my Lena.
I warned you. Now you're going to... Come back here, you babbling fool. Come back here.
Amos, be back. But Amos, come back for Lena. Miss Madeline, run away. Run away, Miss Madeline. Run.
Get that meddling fool. Amos, I'm coming to get you.
Oh, the light, it's going away. I must follow it. I must follow the light.
Madeline, stay back. Don't come out here.
The light going away. I must follow the light.
Madeline, turn back.
Without the light, there's nothing. I can't lose the light.
Madeline, I command you to go back to the house.
It's gone. Where did the light go?
Hey, Miss Madeline, duck behind this tree. It's Amos. Master Tom don't see us here. Amos, take you back to the house. Master Tom awful crazy. You gotta get out of here.
Where are you, Madeline? Answer me.
Down low, Miss Madeline. He's coming.
Madeline, don't move, Cottonmouth. Don't move an inch.
The light. There's the light.
Forget the light, Madeline. Please don't move a muscle. That snake isn't 2 feet from your face.
Tom, bring the light closer. I want pain. That's what I want, Tom. I want pain and Reggie.
Madeline.
That's it. I must find Reggie. Reggie.
Quiet, you little fool. That snake will strike at anything moves. Madeline, look out.
Reggie. I lost Reggie.
She remembers after all.
Please, Miss Madeline, listen to Master Tom.
Madeline, the snake. It's Madeline.
Snake.
Right in the mouth. Amos, grab her.
Miss Madeline.
Give her to me. Madeline, speak.
Tom, you did this.
Don't talk, Madeline. I'll get you back to the house.
You killed Reggie.
No. Reggie died in the quicksand pit.
You killed him. Oh, Reggie, it would have been lovely and...
Madeline, speak to me. Good heavens, she's dead. Madeline's dead.
Master Tom.
Go away, Amos. Go away. Madeline, what have I done?
Master Tom, you killed Master Reggie.
I didn't mean to, Amos. I didn't mean to.
And you killed my Lena, too.
I must have been mad.
Now Amos killed you, Master Tom.
Go away, Amos. What?
Now old Amos killed you, Master Tom. It's right. Amos must kill you now.
Stand back, you fool. Get away from me.
Amos gonna kill you, Master Tom. May the good Lord help me do it.
Amos, give me that gun. I'll have you whipped.
No, Master Tom, you won't whip Amos. You won't whip anybody anymore.
Amos, don't!
Master Tom gone. Miss Madeline's gone. Nothing but the bubbles in the bayou. Ain't nobody left at Tynook's anymore. The bayou got us all. Now Amos gone. Lena. Amos, hear the voices.
So runs the tale of Death in the Bayou.
Well, friends, heave a big sigh and then listen to this. Another new shipment of 9x12 rugs and wall-to-wall carpeting has just arrived at the Granite Furniture Company. You may choose from a wide variety of 9x12 rugs in choice colors and patterns. In carpeting, the Granite Furniture Company is now able to offer you a choice from more than 20 rolls in Wilton or Axminster grades. This is hard-to-get merchandise, and the Granite Furniture Company, through its bigger buying power and better wholesale connections, has scooped the market. Buy early tomorrow on easy terms, rugs and carpeting at the Granite Furniture Company. There is a store near you in Sugar House, Murray, and Provo.
Remember to join us next week at the same time for another journey down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy to hear the tale of the Doctor of Terror.
Tonight's story was written by Robert Olson. Heard in tonight's program were Michael Bruce as Reginald Crane, Beth Calder as Madeline, Dick Thorne as Tom, Carol Moser as Lena, and Ken Jensen as Amos. Musical background was provided by Earl Donaldson.
Tomorrow morning, the all-star lineup of new 1952 Buicks goes on display at your Buick dealers. And believe you me, they're the smartest, smoothest riding Buicks you've ever seen, with new surprise features you thought years away. So don't miss the fun. Bring the whole family to see the advanced new Roadmasters, the exciting new Supers, and the brilliant new Specials that combine big car luxury with economy price. Yes, don't miss the new 1952 Buicks at your Buick dealers tomorrow.
Stay tuned to HOJO Radio.
The NBC Theater presents
Screen Directors Guild assignment, production Let's Live a Little. Director Richard Wallace. Star Robert Cummings.
This is the Screen Directors Guild presentation of United California Productions' sparkling new comedy, Let's Live a Little, starring Robert Cummings in his original role, and introducing the director of the film, Richard Wallace. The three main elements which go into a motion picture production are the star, the story, and the director. Tonight's star is Robert Cummings, and the story, Let's Live a Little, is ready for your enjoyment. But first, here's the screen director, the man who welded star and story into a perfect unity, and the director of such memorable films as Shop-Worn Angel, The Little Minister, and Kiss and Tell, Mr. Richard Wallace.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The comedy you're about to hear is a far cry from the old days of Mack Sennett when I first learned this business of picture making. Our play tonight, Let's Live a Little, throws a series of gentle jabs at the advertising business, and especially at our current concern with the state of our nerves. In short, it's the kind of a story that says, brother, don't take yourself too seriously. That's why it was fun to make and fun to do again here on the NBC Theater. Now, for the first time on the air, here's Let's Live a Little, starring Bob Cummings in his original role of Duke Crawford. Peace, quiet, and serenity all have nothing whatsoever to do with Duke, who happens to be an advertising executive. Michelle Bennett, his most important client, has already changed her mind 3 times on the theme of his current campaign. That is why, at the moment, if his nerves were to make a noise, they'd sound something like this.
Now, let's see. Arrange for the Hawaiian band for the radio show, the hula dancer for the convention exhibit.
Mr. Crawford.
What are you doing in my office?
Remember me? I'm your secretary.
Oh, yes. Hello, Miss Adams. Yes, I'm sorry. Why don't you answer the phone?
Because it isn't ringing, Mr. Crawford.
Certainly it's ringing.
It isn't.
It is.
It isn't.
It isn't?
No.
Miss Adams, why don't you go away? Why don't you just go away?
Yes, Mr. Crawford.
Funny, I'd have sworn I heard a telephone. Oh, well. I guess I'm just tired. Oh, it's just my imagination. Now, don't pick it up, Duke. Don't pick it up. All alone by the telephone.
It isn't New Year's Eve, Mr. Crawford. I was ringing your phone.
You were? I mean, what do you want?
It's your fiancée, Michelle Bennett. She wants to see you.
My former fiancée, Miss Adams. Now throw her out.
Oh, Mr. Crawford, Miss Bennett's a client.
Please, Miss Adams, no favoritism. Tell her I'm not here. Tell her I'm...
Dookie, darling.
Oh, hello, Michelle. The strange thing, I was just thinking about
Kiss
you.
me, Dookie.
Yes, I've got the new contract right here. I've switched all the backgrounds from Paris to Hawaii just like you wanted, Michelle.
Oh, Dookie, you're not going to insist on talking business, are you?
Now, look, it's your business, Michelle. If you want to sell cosmetic, you got to sign a contract.
You know, Duke, I have a feeling that once the contract is signed, I won't be seeing much of you.
Why, that's ridiculous, Michelle.
I've got an idea.
An idea? Now, Michelle, please don't have any more ideas. I can't stand any more changes.
I know, darling, and I appreciate all the nice work you've done on that Hawaiian campaign, but...
Michelle, don't say it, please, Michelle.
But I don't want Hawaii. I want Sun Valley.
Sun Valley? Sun Valley? Sun Valley! Sun Valley! Mr. Montgomery, I quit.
Michelle Bennett?
Women. Women. I hate women.
Yes, I know, Duke. I've heard all about it.
Why can't I work on men's accounts? Tough, hard-boiled, straight-shooting, he-blooded men. Women. Deliver me from women. Get yourself another boy, Monty. I can't stand it anymore.
Duke, even though this is $1 million account, I'm going to take you off it for a while.
Women. I hate... What'd you say?
Yeah, take a few weeks off. Get a good rest. And look, you might read this book while you're at it. It's called Let's Live a Little.
Let's live a little. That's an original idea. What's it about?
Oh, it's about your nerves, serenity of mind. It's just the thing for you.
Yeah, let's have a look at it. Let's Live a Little by Dr. J.O. Loring. Who's he?
A famous neurologist.
Say, let's live a little. You know, Monty, we might work up a swell publicity campaign on this.
Oh, no, Duke. You need a rest.
Rest? Rest nothing. Monty, this could be sensational. I can see it now. What a slogan. Why not live a little before you die a lot? Every day in every way, let's live a little longer. Give me the phone, Chief. I want my secretary. I want the head of the radio department. I want 5 artists, 3 copywriters, 2 photographers.
Have you an appointment to see Dr. Loring?
Appointment? No, I haven't got time for appointments.
Yes, I can see you're a busy man.
Yes, well, What are you looking at?
Your breast pocket?
My breast pocket? That's just my handkerchief. Yeah, it looks like a pair of socks, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to talk over the publicity on Dr. Loring's book, Let's Live a Little. My name is Duke Crawford.
Yes, Mr. Crawford, your secretary called. The doctor's expecting you. Just go right in.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody here? Well, I guess I'll put on these socks. All alone by the telephone.
Hello.
Hello.
Counting your piggies?
What? Oh, no. I was just putting on my socks. I mean...
I see. You usually wait till you come downtown in the morning to put your socks on?
Well, what's wrong with putting on your socks? Perfume. It's funny. I smell perfume.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose you use beauty cream, mascara, eyeshadow, and pancake makeup, too, huh?
Now and then.
A woman.
A man.
Yes, and I'm glad to be one.
Oh, you don't like women.
Definitely not. The most gorgeous, glamorous creature in the world could be right here in this room, and I could throw my arms around her and kiss her. Yes, kiss her. Right on the lips, and absolutely nothing. No, I just laugh at her like this.
That I'd like to see.
Oh, you would, huh?
Now, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Crawford, don't.
See? See? I'm laughing.
What a remarkable sense of humor.
Yes, yeah. Well, is Dr. Loring in there?
No, that office belongs to my associate, Dr. Field.
Oh, I thought... Your associate?
Yes, I'm Dr. Loring.
You are? I mean, you are? Well, that's funny. I thought I was going to see a man.
Why? Does it make that much difference to you?
Well, no, it's just that, I found women clients extremely difficult to do business with.
With your approach, I can well imagine.
Dr. Loring, could I see you a minute, please?
Of course, Richard. Mr. Crawford, this is Dr. Field.
Hi.
How do you do?
Yes?
Joe, I just wanted to make sure we were going to hear Professor Burkhauser's lecture tonight.
I'll be ready at 7.
Yes, I don't mean to interrupt you, but isn't anybody going to answer the phone?
The phone? What phone?
Well, the phone that's ringing.
Mr. Crawford, you mustn't let yourself become excited.
Excited? Who's excited? Just answer the phone.
Excuse me, Doctor. I'll leave you with your patient. Call me if he gets violent.
He thought I was your patient.
It didn't ring.
It didn't?
Give me your hand, Mr. Crawford.
But please, Dr. Loring.
Your pulse, Mr. Crawford? Oh. Tell me, do you drink?
Oh, thanks, Doc. Not right now. Say, excuse me, what is your first name?
Joe. Have you read my book yet?
No, I just sell them. I don't read them.
You really should. Your nerves are in terrible condition. Do you ever hear strange voices?
Voices? Look, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine.
Well, you'll be hearing voices soon, Mr. Crawford. That's your next step.
Next step? Oh, well, look, this is ridiculous. I'm just a little unstrung. Business, you know.
Would you like to talk about it? There's a balcony off my office, and it's such a lovely day. Look up. Isn't it beautiful out here? What do you see?
Trouble?
No blue sky?
No, just trouble.
A woman?
Yeah, it's a woman. Michelle Bennett.
Oh, the cosmetician?
Yeah. Yeah, we were sort of engaged for a while, for business reasons.
Tell me about it. Tell me all about it, Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, well, you see, her company has $1 million contract up for renewal. She keeps stringing me along about signing it.
Is she very attractive?
Yeah, oh, sure, she's beautiful. In a financial sort of way.
And she's in love with you, but you always talk business when you're together.
Yeah, something like that.
Have you tried being a little more attentive, Mr. Crawford?
Attentive? How?
Champagne, soft lights, a waltz, perhaps a caress. Then I don't think I'd mind if the contract were barely mentioned just after the waltz.
Have you ever been to the Pink Champagne Room?
Pink champagne, it sounds lovely.
Joe, would you like to see it tonight?
Tonight? It would be wonderful. Wonderful, Mr. Crawford. I was speaking purely as a doctor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, Doc. Well, your prescription's accepted. I take Michelle to the Pink Champagne Room tonight.
Yes, Michelle. Mr. Crawford.
Yes?
If I...
Yes?
Nothing, Mr. Crawford. You won't forget the waltz.
No, I won't forget it. Well, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and good afternoon to you, Dr. Field. Wouldn't you be more comfortable if you put your shoes on?
My shoes? Shoes? Oh, yes, thanks. Yeah, I'll put them on when I get back to the office.
Strange case, that Crawford.
Richard, wouldn't it be nice if we went dancing tonight instead of going to that dry old lecture?
Dancing? Well, after all, Joe, I was under the impression...
Someplace like the Pink Champagne Room. Oh, Dookie, you waltz beautifully, darling. Oh, I love the soft lights. and the violins.
The soft light of your eyes and the sweet music of your smile, Michelle.
You're so charming and attentive. I can't resist you when you're like this.
Oh, you can't? I mean, I'm so glad you're having a nice time.
Yuki, I have caused you a lot of trouble, haven't I?
Trouble? Why, no, it's been fun.
No, I'm sorry, darling. I'll sign the contract now if you want.
Contract? What contract?
Duke, why are you looking at that woman?
Woman? That's no woman. That's my doctor.
Well, stop staring at her.
And she wouldn't come with me.
Come where?
She's beautiful.
Duke!
She's lovely.
Duke!
You give what? Oh, yes, the contract. Yes, right here, Michelle.
The contract. I'll teach you about contracts, you...
Michelle, put down that champagne bucket. Don't, Michelle!
Dookie! What have I done?
To be or not to be. I hate women. Answer the phone. Get me a doctor. Answer the phone. Get me a doctor. Answer the phone. Get me a doctor.
The NBC Theater is presenting the Screen Directors Guild production of Let's Live a Little, starring Robert Cummings as Duke Crawford, with Betty Lou Gerson as Dr. Joe Loring, and introducing screen director Richard Wallace.
Look at the moonlight on the water. I never knew Shady Lake Lodge could be so beautiful.
Well, it'd be a lot more beautiful if you hadn't brought that Crawford fellow along. Frankly, Joe, I don't like him.
Oh, he isn't just a fellow, Richard. He's a patient. His nerves need a rest.
Yes, so I've noticed.
Well. The doctor and the doctor. Well, be professional. Somebody asked me how I'm feeling.
How are you feeling?
No, I don't think I'll tell you. My doctor here might take it as a breach of confidence.
Then I'll ask you, are you feeling better, Duke?
Oh, I'm ready for business. I'd like to discuss your book with you for a few minutes.
Then let's all go back to the lodge.
Joe, I thought that you and I might take a canoe ride while we talk things over.
I still think
the water will be very soothing to me, Joe, very soothing.
All right, Duke.
Yeah, what were you saying, Dr. Field?
Let's all go back to the lodge.
Oh, I'd love to, but you see, I have a date. Coming, Joe?
But...
Joe, tell me, do you believe in all those things you've preached since we've been up here?
Naturally.
About letting nothing stop me from obtaining a worthwhile objective?
Duke,
And you want me to believe it?
Duke, we better go back to the shore.
You don't really mean that?
I'm your doctor. This is ridiculous. This is... You said you hated women.
Well, that was 3 other guys.
Duke, we can't keep this up.
Well, we can try. No, wait a minute. Don't move. You'll tip over the canoe.
I hardly think that's possible. The canoe won't paddle across dry land, Crawford. You've been beached here for 5 minutes.
Well, what do you know? I hadn't noticed it.
Oh, Richard, help me up.
I'm driving you back to the city first thing in the morning, Joe. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with Mr. Crawford's nerve now.
Good morning, Monty. Come on in. Are you living a little today?
Duke, my boy, what's happened to you?
I'm in love, just in love, that's all.
Oh, Michelle Bennett, that's fine, Duke, fine.
Who said anything about Michelle?
Say, that was a great little job you did in that Loring book. Now, Duke, listen, I want you to drop everything and get back to the Bennett account.
What? You can't mean that.
Well, I do mean it. That's your assignment, Duke.
Bennett. Always Michelle Bennett. I'd like to take Michelle Bennett. Yes, Miss Adam.
There's a Dr. Field here to see you.
Dr. Field? Oh, yes, send him in.
Crawford?
Oh, hello, Doctor. Sit down. What can I do for you?
Crawford, I'll be frank and brief. I've had a long talk with Dr. Loring, and I think there's something you should know.
I should?
It's not uncommon for a person in your former physical state to attempt to center his emotions upon an attractive woman. In this case, your doctor.
Well, what about it?
Frequently, such a phenomenon has a beneficial result. Dr. Loring felt it was her duty to find out if it would affect the cure in your case.
What are you talking about?
In short, Mr. Crawford, in Dr. Loring's eyes, you have been, shall we say, a guinea pig.
Guinea pig? A guinea pig?
I'm sure you'll realize that this is all for your own good.
Guinea pig. I'll teach her. I'll teach her who's a guinea pig. No, wait a minute. I gotta stay calm. Miss Adams! Miss Adams!
Yes, sir?
Bring me a guinea pig. No, I'm human. I will. Oh, where's that Bennett contract?
What color?
What color what?
Guinea pig.
I am not. I want that Bennett contract and send Miss Bennett a dozen organs. Michelle. Michelle, dear, I'm back.
Oh, it's you.
Yes, it's me. Well, I see you. I see you got the orchids. Yeah. Well, I always think of you, dear, when I see a beautiful orchid. Well, it was quite an exciting evening we had at the Pink Champagne Room, wasn't it, dear? I mean, so many things happened all at once. And Michelle, no, not the vase. No, don't hit me with the vase. Not again. Michelle!
Dookie, darling, are you hurt, dearest?
No. Oh, I'm getting so I kind of like it.
Dookie, look, I've got my fountain pen. I'll sign the contract right now.
Contract? The contract?
Give it to me.
Right here.
There it is. All signed.
Well, let me have it.
Not until after the wedding.
Wedding? Huh. Why not? Oh, all right. You win, Michelle.
Manhattan Towers.
Mr. Duke Crawford, please.
Hello?
Duke?
Joe? Hello, how are you?
Oh, all right. I just wanted to congratulate you.
Oh, why?
Your coming marriage. I read about it in the papers.
Oh, yes, that. Well, thanks. Yeah, is the book selling all right?
Yeah, fine. I suppose you're all right now.
Oh, yes, fine. No more ringing.
Oh. Well, I don't suppose there's anything else to say.
No, I guess not.
Good luck, Duke.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye.
Bye.
Joe, you look ghastly.
Well, that's funny. You look like Richard, but you sound like Duke.
Oh, come now.
Duke, is it you?
Joe, this is Richard. You're hearing things.
Richard, why don't you answer the phone?
But, Joe, it isn't ringing.
Oh.
Well, that settles it. You need a rest. Now, I'm canceling our appointment, and I'm taking you up to Shady Lake. A few days there, and you'll feel like a new woman.
All right, Richard. Whatever you say, Duke.
Yes?
Hello, Crawford. This is Dr. Field. I just called to tell you to cancel your publicity campaign for Dr. Loring.
Well, what's that got to do with you?
I've taken Dr. Loring to the Shady Lake Lodge for a much-needed rest. And as her doctor, I'm in full charge.
In full charge? What are you, Joe's husband or something?
I hope someday she will become Mrs. Field, yes.
Well, that's ridiculous. I'm coming out there to talk to Joe myself.
If you show your face around here, I'll be delighted to punch your head. And I assure you I can do it.
Oh, you can, huh? Well, we'll see about that.
Dookie, what's been keeping you? We're due at the minister's in half an hour.
Well, don't wait for me, because I won't be there. And go and stick your head in a jar of your vanishing cream. And take your contract with you.
Oh, no, you don't. Little Michelle has plans for you.
Well, here's your room, Joe. Have a good night's sleep.
Thank you, Richard. I am tired. Good night.
Good night.
Now, open the window, brush my hair, so to bed.
Joe.
What?
It's me, Duke, outside the window here.
Duke.
Oh, no, you're not. You're my imagination.
You're what?
You're my imagination. I shouldn't even be talking to you.
Oh, your pal Phil is out in front trying to keep your imagination from seeing you. Keep your voice down.
You're not there. You're not there.
Here, wait, I'll climb the window. There.
Oh, I must get control of myself. It's no use. I still see him.
Oh, so that's it. Hearing voices and seeing things. So I'm not here at all, huh?
Of course not. It's just my imagination.
Mm-hmm. Well, then, if I'm just your imagination, I can't be blamed for doing this.
Oh, talk about imagination.
All right, Crawford, put up your hands and... Oh, I'm sorry. I was expecting someone else.
Where are they?
Are they?
Duke and this Dr. Loring.
She's asleep. He didn't show up.
Oh, yeah? He was 10 minutes ahead of me.
You don't think he'd...
You don't know Duke.
Yeah, well, if he's here, we'd better stop them before they do anything foolish.
What's foolish about it?
Come on. What? Joe, your nerves.
Duke, you bluebeard.
Quiet, please. I'm very busy. Joe, darling.
Tell him to go away.
Let me get my hands on that vase. Duke, where are you? I feel dizzy. Everyone looks like Duke.
You know, don't throw it at me. I'm not Duke. You're making a mistake.
You look like Duke. I know you're Duke.
No, it's your nerves. He's there with Joe. Oh, my head.
Oh, you're not Duke. Why did you pretend to be Duke?
Why doesn't somebody answer the telephone? Telephone's ringing.
Do you hear anything ringing, dear?
No, nothing.
Oh, it's funny. Every time I kiss you, it sounds like...
The NBC Theater has presented the Screen Directors Guild production of Let's Live a Little, starring Robert Cummings and introduced by the director of the film, Richard Wallace. In following weeks, you will hear Robert Montgomery, Rosalind Russell, and Irene Dunn. And next week, the NBC Theater turns to romantic adventure to bring you Douglas Fairbanks Jr. in The Exile. And now, here again are tonight's star, Robert Cummings and director Richard Wallace.
Say, Dick, you're not afraid of the microphone, are you? What are you so nervous about?
Nervous? I got a right to be nervous. I never want to go through an experience like that again.
But you haven't had a word to say since the start of the program.
That's the trouble. It makes me a nervous wreck to sit through a half-hour of comedy without yelling, cut. Not funny enough. Didn't catch on fire. Let's do it again.
Oh, I see. So you weren't satisfied with the performance?
I didn't say that.
Well, now, after all, you directed the film. I played the role the way you wanted it. Look, Dick, after all, we've been through so much together. Now, how can you possibly...
All right. You were wonderful.
I was not. Now, you know I didn't play the first scene the way you told me to.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing an example of why directors turn gray.
Dick, I'm only kidding. Seriously, here's my chance to do something that's been a long time coming. express my thanks to that ingenious race of people, the screen directors. If it weren't for that guy behind the camera, the things that go on in front of the lens would be, well, they'd be pretty hopeless. So thanks, Dick. Thanks for all your skill, all your experience, and all your understanding.
Thank you, Bob. But all the thanks we want is to be able to keep right on creating films with actors as fine as yourself. Good night, folks.
Good night. Good night, Dick.
And good night to you, Robert Cummings and Richard Wallace. Also heard on tonight's program were Betty Lou Gerson, Virginia Gregg, Tom Collins, Constance Crowder, John Taylor, Sarah Selby, and Dan Riss. Script was by Richard Allen Simmons, and original music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. Production was under the supervision of Howard Wiley. Your announcer, Frank Barton. Robert Cummings is currently being seen in The Accused, a Hal Wallace production for Paramount. Listen again next week when the NBC Theater presents
Screen Directors Guild assignment, production The Exile, director Max Opels, star Douglas Fairbanks Jr.
Dentists know what cleans teeth best. And over 4,000 dentists say Colgate tooth powder with a 2-minute routine gets teeth sparkling and super clean. So to remove dull film and get your teeth shining clean, just brush teeth 2 minutes morning and night with Colgate tooth powder. Brush inside, outside, and biting surface.
Keep it tuned right here to HOJO Radio for more classic old-time radio.
Delicate art to murder. The elegant killer scorns the use of firearms or knives. But strangulation, there a clever fellow can snuff a life out as you would a candle. How about a demonstration, okay? Then listen to the Mystery Playhouse. And now for tonight's play, Criminal at Large. Come with me, my friends, to Scotland Yard in London. The London of the early 1900s. A man was found dead, strangled to death, in a village called St. Mark's Priory. And Scotland Yard is investigating the murder. Chief Inspector Tanner is in his office, and he's discussing the situation with his assistant, Sergeant Tutty.
Well, Tutty?
Well, this bloke what was killed was the chauffeur for Lord Lebanon. His name was William Studd. He was returning from a fancy dress ball and was strangled on the way. Nobody hated him, and there's no clue as to who killed him.
Fancy dress ball, eh? What was he wearing?
Aha! He was dressed in Indian clothes, Tanner. And that's where my theory comes in. It was Dr. Amersham who found the chauffeur at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, what was Dr. Amersham doing at 2 in the morning in the Priory Field?
It's your theory, Sergeant. Suppose you tell me.
Well,
Chief Constable Tanner, Lord Lebanon. Right. Lord Lebanon is outside. Go bring him in.
Here's Lord Lebanon, Inspector.
Hello. I hope I'm not an awful nuisance.
No, not at all, Lord Lebanon. I'm Chief Inspector Tanner. What can I do for you?
Well, Inspector Tanner, the whole thing is very vulgar, and when one's mother's involved, well, everything was all right while my father was alive. Shocking invalid. Never left his room for 15 years.
Your visit here concerns your father?
Not exactly. I'm just starting at the beginning, you know. When Father died, I should have come back from India. But then Amersham came out after me, wanted me to take my seat in the House of Lords. Silly, what?
But you came back?
Yes. to find my mother was expecting me to marry Isla Crane. It's deuced awkward.
Awkward?
She's terribly nice, but there's something odd about her.
Odd?
She's been frightened since that infernal murder. Why, my dear fellow, she walks in her sleep.
You say she's frightened, Lord Lebanon? Of what?
I shouldn't be surprised if it's that American footman my mother hired. A strapping big fellow. He lurks.
He does what?
Lurks. You know, you pop out of your room and there he is, lurking in the hall.
Well, why don't you fire him? You're the master of the house.
Oh, yes, I'm the master in a way. Still, it's rather difficult when a fellow has a mother. But I don't want any fuss. I'll probably marry Isla in spite of her walking in her sleep.
What about this Dr. Amersham?
Oh. Well, you might as well know. Dr. Amersham is a man I dislike intensely.
Is he a friend of your mother's?
I suppose so, in a way. But he doesn't like me. He doesn't like Isla, doesn't like anybody. And I'll tell you something else about him. When he was in India, a woman was killed in his bungalow. Indian woman. Beautiful gal.
Strangled? Can you tell me any more about it?
She was strangled with some sort of scarf. Oh, there was a terrible row about it. But he got out of it.
I see. Lord Lebanon, why exactly have you come to see me?
Well, I'll be perfectly frank with you. I'm frightened. I don't want to make a scene, but at the same time, I don't want to die.
Aren't you possibly exaggerating?
I don't know whether I am or whether I'm not, but there's something going on. And I don't understand it. Honestly, I do wish you'd come down and look into it.
All right, Lord Lebanon. We'll be down the first thing tomorrow morning.
It's a good thing you're taking me with you to Mark's Priory, Tanner. As I always say, you can't go wrong when you've got the coolest head in the yard along with you.
Quiet, Toddy. Here we are.
Mark's Priory Castle. Can you imagine a lightweight brain like Lord Lebanon having all this and £40,000 a year? Now, if I had that money,
Spend it all on loose liquor and aged women. We're going in now, Toddy. Mind your manners.
Yes, sir?
Chief Inspector Tanner and Sergeant Toddy of Scotland Yard. We're here to see Lady Lebanon and the household.
Lady Lebanon's in the drawing room. I'll announce you.
Wait a minute. You're not the butler.
No, sir. Butler's busy just now. I'm the doorman.
Footman, eh? Then you must be the American Gilda.
Yes, sir?
How long have you been here, Gilda?
8 years.
I believe you have an account at the London and Provincial Bank, haven't you?
Yes, Inspector.
Very unusual, isn't it? For a footman to have an account in a London bank.
Some of us are very thrifty.
So I noticed. But isn't it rather a large balance?
3,000 or 4,000 pounds. I've bought some good stocks now and then.
What is your salary here?
Pretty good one. Her ladyship is generous.
Well, I'll want to talk to you later, Gilda.
Sure. Anytime. Now I'll announce you to her ladyship.
Never mind. I'll announce myself. Come on, Toddy. That seems to be the drawing room ahead. Lady Lebanon?
Yes?
I'm Chief Inspector Tanner, Scotland Yard. This is Sergeant Toddy, who was down here 2 days ago.
How do you do? This is Dr. Amersham, my physician.
How do you do?
How do you do, Inspector?
Why are you here, Inspector?
I must remind your ladyship that your son's chauffeur was murdered only a few days ago. It will be necessary for me to question all of you. Toddy, you take care of the servants.
Right, sir.
Lady Lebanon, I would like to see your son and his fiancée, as well as you and the doctor.
Very well. Dr. Amersham, will you step upstairs and ask Isla to come down?
Glad to, if the inspector won't read something criminal into my actions. You never know about these police.
Oh, before you go, Doctor, I believe you spent some time in India.
Oh, yes. I'm practically a colonial.
And I believe there was some incident of a native girl being strangled in your bungalow?
A very unfortunate incident, Inspector. I'm sure you must be interested in the police work on the case. Sometime, perhaps, I'll tell you all about it. Now, if you'll pardon me, I'll see if I can find Miss Craig.
That clever man. Is there anything you wish to tell me, Lady Lebanon?
I knew very little about the poor chauffeur. The servants can probably tell you the things you have to know. I suppose you want to look over the castle?
Yes, of course.
Are you interested in blazonry, Inspector? The coat of arms you see in here represent an eternity. The Lebanon line stands unbroken for 1,200 years. It would be a pity were it to die out.
I'm sure it would. How long have you known Dr. Amersham, Lady Lebanon?
Many years, since before my husband died.
I was aware of that. In fact, I noticed that your husband's death certificate was signed by Dr. Amersham.
Yes, it was. I believe you said you wished to see my son, Inspector. I'll go and tell him.
When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's
I say, that's rather jolly. I didn't know policemen could sing.
Oh, good morning, Lord Lebanon. I see your mother found you.
My mother, no, I haven't seen her. I suppose it's beastly of me, but I'm always rather glad when I don't see her. I say, I'm awfully glad you've come down. Have you met Amersham?
I've met him.
He's a nasty piece of work, isn't he? I loathe him. You know, it just occurred to me, this chauffeur chap of ours might have been strangled by a scarf like that Indian gal I told you about.
Wouldn't surprise me if you were right.
It wouldn't? You know, Inspector, I've always thought I had a talent for that sort of thing, snooping around for clues.
You have?
Yes, indeed. It would never do, though, I suppose. The trouble is I can't stand the sight of blood. It unnerves me for days. Ghastly, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I imagine there are many people who can't stand the sight of blood.
You think so? I say, you will look into this Amersham, won't you? Things are pretty rum around here, and I'm sure that he's at the bottom of it.
Willie, what were you saying to the inspector?
Nothing, Mother. I'm just remarking that Dr. Amersham is a bounder.
Oh, nonsense, Willie. I'll not have you talking that way about Dr. Amersham. Where were you? I was looking everywhere for you.
You couldn't have looked very hard. I was in the den all morning.
It seems to be taking Dr. Amersham quite a while to bring Miss Crane down. I wonder...
Well, he has been a little long, but I'm sure they'll be here any minute.
If you ask me...
Tyler, what can be the matter?
Dashed odd girl.
We'll see. Come on.
Isla, what's the meaning of this nonsense?
It's up there on the stairs. And... It's so terrible. Black and contorted. As though he'd been choked to death.
Who, Miss Crane? Who is dead?
Dr. Amersham. You wanted to see me, Lady Lebanon?
Yes, I did, Isla. What is the matter with you? All you do is fidget and look frightened.
I don't know. I heard the police saying that Dr. Amersham and the chauffeur were both strangled with a scarf. They found red threads on their throats.
What's frightening about that?
Well, I opened the drawer of your desk this afternoon and I found a red scarf there.
My dear child, you're dreaming. Which drawer?
This one.
You see, there's nothing there. You mustn't let these things get on your nerves the way you do.
These things? How can you speak so lightly about it? 2 men are killed here and you act so calmly. I can't go on staying in this awful place. I can't.
What you will, Isla, dear. I sent your mother her quarterly check last week and just had a letter from her this morning. She's so happy to be secure after all the hard times she's been through.
Oh, don't. Please don't. You know I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for her. If she knew what I'm doing, she'd rather starve than have me go on.
Don't be stupid. And for heaven's sake, don't be hysterical. I can't stand hysterical women. They have unhealthy children, and you must have healthy children after you're married to Willie. Yes, Gilda?
It's a gentleman from Scotland Yard. I've finished showing him over the house, and
they want to see you, Lady Lebanon.
Oh, have you been through the castle already? Inspector Tanner?
Every room except one.
The lumber room, my lady.
On the first floor. One of the best positions in the house. That's a queer place for a lumber room.
We call it the lumber room. It's really a place where I keep a few valuables.
Your man has the key?
No, I never open that room. Inspector Tanner, I'll tell you the truth. That is the room where my husband died. It hasn't been opened since that day.
But I'm sure I've seen it open, Lady Lebanon.
You are quite mistaken, Isla. You must be overwrought. Go to your room.
Yes, Lady Lebanon.
I'm sorry, my lady, but I must insist on the room being open.
But why, Inspector? Surely there's nothing there that will interest you.
There might be. I'm looking for a collection of silk scarves, and I want to find them before somebody else gets strangled.
Ridiculous.
I don't think so. Incidentally, we discovered that a scarf, perhaps the one used on Dr. Amersham, was burned this afternoon in a stove in the kitchen. Would you know anything about it?
If anything has been burned, I haven't the least idea who burned it or what it was.
I'm afraid I'm at fault, Inspector. I found some odd bits of silk on the carpet and burned them.
Why, of course, Gilda. I was cutting out a doll's dress for the village bazaar.
Doll dresses. Look, Chief, just give me a few minutes.
Not now, Toddy, not now. Lady Lebanon, it strikes me that you're not very anxious to have the murder of your friend cleared up.
Dr. Amersham was not a friend of mine.
So the fact that he was murdered within a few yards of this room really doesn't matter?
Aren't you being rather insolent, Inspector Tanner?
I suppose I am. But your own attitude is rather peculiar. If he wasn't a friend of yours, what was he doing here?
He came to see me as a doctor.
At your request?
No, he just dropped in.
So early in the morning, an odd hour for dropping in?
I had a touch of neuritis in my arm.
Oh, yes, neuritis. But you didn't send for him?
No.
He just guessed that you had neuritis and dropped in. Very convenient type of doctor to have.
I'm not interested in your conclusions, Inspector Tanner.
You will be in some of them. And Lady Lebanon, I intend to see that room, which you choose to call the lumber room. If not voluntarily, then with a court order.
This is an outrage. No magistrate in this county would grant it.
Then I'll go to the Home Secretary.
You won't be able to reach him until tomorrow, Chief.
So, my home will belong to me until tomorrow, at least?
Maybe. You don't seem to realize, or want to, that there's a murderer around. I know the identity of the murderer, Lady Lebanon, but I haven't got the proof. It may be in that room you refuse to open.
Impossible.
Not so impossible. Sergeant Totty and I are staying here this evening. I suggest that you reconsider and give us the key to the lumber room. It may save somebody's life.
Oh, what a day this has been, Chief. I'm glad the household's getting tucked into their beds. I could do with a bit of sleep myself.
We'll go to bed ourselves, Totty, as soon as we're sure that everything's quiet. We can step into the library for a last smoke while we're waiting.
Look, Chief, there on the floor. Why, he's got another one.
I see her. Miss Crane. Thank heavens he wasn't successful this time, Totty. She's still alive, although she'll have a sore throat for a while.
Here's the scarf he did it with, too.
I think she's coming around.
Hello. I say, what's wrong? What's wrong?
Our murderer tried to get Miss Crane.
Oh, I say, poor gal. Is she done for?
You know, she'll be all right in a moment.
No.
There, now, Miss Crane. It's Inspector Tanner. You've had a nasty shock, but you're not hurt.
My throat.
Who did it, Miss Crane?
I don't know. I was just standing here and suddenly that... A scarf was whipped around my neck. I couldn't see who. I think it was...
It's all right. That's all right, Miss Crane. You'll tell us the rest tomorrow. Now it's upstairs to bed for you. Best take a sedative. Toddy, you help Miss Crane up to her room and get her made for her.
Right, sir. Here, just lean on me, ma'am.
Thank you, Inspector.
Poor gal. Of course, she is a bit odd, but she doesn't deserve to die that way.
Well, thank heavens she didn't die.
I'm glad. Don't you think it's about time my line was wiped out, Inspector?
Your line? I'm afraid I don't understand you.
This sort of thing's been going on for years. Ask my mother. She's got all their dates, all their pedigrees. The Lebanons have always been somewhat off. My father was more than somewhat. He spent 15 years in the old Lord's room, as mad as a hatter.
I guessed that.
But he never strangled anybody. The first time I saw it done was in Pune. A little fellow slipped up behind a big hulking man and... Fascinating. Yes. I tried it on a gal, an Indian gal. She went out like that. Extraordinary, isn't it?
Very. I suppose one uses a scarf, like this one.
You do understand. I brought back dozens of these scarves from India. I'm not a big fellow, but I'm awfully strong. Feel my arm. It's rather a laugh. People never think I have the strength. Even Gilda doesn't guess.
Gilda?
He's not really a footman, you know. He's sort of... Well, he looks after me. You understand?
Yes. That's what I thought.
And that room my mother wouldn't show you. Well, it's all padded, you know. Rubber cushions all around the walls. I have to go there when I realize things.
You mean when you imagine things?
When I realize things, I know what I'm saying. When I'm quite well, I don't realize things. It's only when I get excited that my brain becomes clear. Don't touch me.
I just wanted a light for my cigarette.
Huh? Oh, I'm awfully sorry. Here. Are you friend or foe?
A friend, of course. Now, why were you so unkind to the chauffeur?
Stud? Oh, I'm awfully sorry about that. He was such a good fellow. But I'm afraid of Indians. One of them tried to kill me. They were very angry about that gal. I didn't know about this beastly masquerade ball in the village. I thought the chauffeur was an Indian.
And Dr. Amersham?
I didn't like him. He had my mother under his thumb. He knew about my realizing things, you see, and he blackmailed her. I'll show you something. Swear you won't tell anybody.
I swear.
Here. It's a gun, loaded. I took it from Gilda's room this evening. It's the first one I've been able to get a hold of since I came back from India.
It's very nice. Would you mind not pointing it at me? It might go off.
So it might. Sometimes I think I should turn it on myself. Wipe out the whole silly line. I wonder where Gilda put her.
Put who?
Isla. She was looking awfully like that Indian gal this afternoon. I went behind her and put my arms around her. Did you hear her run down the stairs? She knows. That's why she's frightened of me. She came downstairs the night I smashed up this place. I don't remember doing it, but I suppose I must have. That was the night I nearly got Amersham. And last night when I did get him, she saw me coming back into the house. And I'm terribly strong. You wouldn't think so, would you?
Oh, yes, I would. You know, when you were at my office in Scotland Yard, I said to myself, this fellow is very strong.
Did you really? You are smart, aren't you? I say, I worried them tonight. I didn't drink my bromide. There are lots of ways of getting out of that room of mine. They don't know it, but I do. I fool them lots of times.
Yes, I expect you fool them pretty often. Well, I'm going to bed.
Oh, no, you're not going to bed. You're pretending that you're not scared. But you are. You see, I frighten people.
I'm not frightened.
No?
I'll be sensible and give me that gun.
No.
You want to fool around with a thing like that?
Well, there are lots of things I could do with this. I could end the line with this. Here comes my mother. We'll ask her.
Billy, give me that gun.
No, I won't. I've always wanted a pistol. I've asked you dozens of times.
Give it away.
You're going to give me that gun, old fellow?
No, don't touch me. Don't come near me.
Billy, look, he's going to stop him. Somebody stop him.
Too late, Mother.
Well, Inspector?
He's dead. Poor devil.
10 centuries of Lebanon's, 1,000 years of greatness gone out like a candle in the wind.
Toddy.
Yes, sir.
Get Scotland Yard. Tell them the Lebanon case is closed.
Oh, if that Lord Lebanon isn't a disappointment. After so neatly strangling all those other people, he had to go and spoil a perfect record by shooting himself. Well, don't go, please. Don't go. They're rehearsing our next performance in a green room. Follow me, please. Come. Come.
Saint, I'm brain delivered. Oh, listen to this. It's murder. Oh. I have a booth now, if you want it.
Well, thank you. Do you like that record you just played?
Oh, it's terrible. Corny. Too commercial. Are those the records you want to hear?
Yeah, what's the matter with them?
Oh, long hairs. Why don't you get out of your long underwear? So long.
Hey, was that an insult?
No, dear, no. Just jive talk. Play one of our records, Nicky.
Okay, darling. Hey, Nora, what's gut bucket?
Oh, I don't know, darling, but it sounds to me like some new kind of girdle. Sit down, dear.
What kind of stuff is that?
Beethoven's Romance, dear. It's about time you developed a taste for good music.
What's the matter with my taste? I like to see everything Dinah Shore sings.
You should learn to appreciate the higher forms, dear.
Oh, here's Mr.
Oh, Mr. Bailey. Nicky, I want you to meet Mr. Benjamin Bailey, the proprietor of the Cadenza Record Shop.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Charles.
How you do?
Just call me Beethoven Benny like everybody else does. Well, Mrs. Charles, shall I start lecturing at him?
Oh, please, Benny.
You know, is this some kind of a plot?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Charles, now you're just listening to a hunk of music called Romance by Ludwig van Beethoven, which is written in Andante, which means not too fast but don't fall asleep. You get it?
Hey, Benny, where'd you learn about music?
Oh, in my youth, I was the first piccolo player in the Sing Sing Philharmonic Orchestra. Now you take that album there, Shostakovich's Sixth Symphony. Shostakovich was influenced by Prokofiev, Stravinsky, Rachmaninoff, Rimsky-Korsakov, Glazunov, Mussorgsky, and Tchaikovsky. So what happens? So Shostakovich makes with the notes, and if you spend an ear, it sounds a little like Prokofiev, Stravinsky, Rachmaninoff, Rimsky-Korsakov, and Tchaikovsky. Now, they're not to be confused with Beethoven, Bach, Brahms, Mozart, and Papa Haydn, who are of the German school, as against the Russian school. Two nations which are at war today. Which is something to think about, ain't that, Mrs. Charles?
Oh, yes. Yes, it certainly bears thinking about.
So to get along with my suppression, now Beethoven was carrying the torch for a hot little tomato called Countess Guicciardi. Now hark ye, how the great violinist Freddie Fatkin plays this passage. It's sheer perspiration.
Well, what's the matter with Freddie? Did he run out of perspiration?
No, the record stopped. Something messed up this phonograph.
Oh, won't it go?
No, it's dead.
Well, help me push it away from the wall, Benny.
Well, what killed it, Nicky? Fradkin's playing?
No, baby. It was murdered.
Oh, phonographs don't get murdered. They die natural death.
Well, here's the bullet, Nora. It smashed the motor.
Well, now, who'd want to murder a phonograph?
Must be some torpedo who hates music.
The bullet came through that wall. There's the hole. What's on the other side of this wall, Benny?
Another boot like this. There's just a thin partition of expensive soundproof junk between the boots.
Someone in that other booth fired that bullet. Come on.
I bet it's one of my competitors trying to ruin my business.
Well, there's the door to the other booth. Oh!
Steady, baby.
Oh, look, Nicky, look, that woman.
Benny, turn off that record.
All right.
Is she dead?
Uh-huh. 3 bullet wounds in the head. Benny, you'd better call the police.
Yeah, I'll phone right now.
Nicky, do you think the killer's still around?
No, darling. If he was smart enough to turn on that record to cover the noise of the shots, he's smart enough to make a quick getaway.
Well, he must be a very queer killer, dear. He left his lipstick behind.
Oh, what do you mean?
This lipstick I just found. It's called, Passion Smear.
Oh, but that probably belongs to the corpse.
It's a different shade. You see? They don't match her lips.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Nora, you wait here.
Where are you going?
I want to speak to headquarters. This looks like a case for Inspector Gallagher. I'll be back in a minute.
I wonder if... Oh, I didn't notice that before. This is interesting. Nicky, did you... Oh, who turned off the lights? Oh, let go of me! Let go of you! Help me! Someone is the killer! Nicky! Nicky!
Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Murder in a record shop. Why don't you try to be on hand for our next performance, when we present Nick and Nora Charles in The Adventures of the Thin Man. This is Peter Lorre closing the doors of the Mystery Playhouse. Good night. Sleep tight. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
CRESTA, BLANCA, Cresta, Blanca, Cresta Blanca.
HOJO Radio, where the classics come alive.
Look to Lockheed for leadership. The men and women of Lockheed Aircraft present Herbert Marshall in The Man Called X, produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. The Man Called X. He is the man who crosses the ocean as readily as you and I cross town. He is the man who travels today as you and I will travel tomorrow. He is the man who fights today's war in his unique fashion so that tomorrow's peace will make the world a neighborhood for all of us. He is the man called X. Tonight, Mr. X takes us to India, land of jeweled Maharajas and beautiful princesses. But as the story opens, Mr. X is not yet within earshot of softly tinkling temple bells. For the moment, he's traveling down New York's Great White Way. And the lady sharing the cab with him is not an Indian princess, but Miss Nancy Bessington, anxious to arrive on time for the opening of a new musical comedy. Driver, I want you to drop us at the Gotham Towers, corner 45th Street. Okay.
Ken, that's miles away from the theater. What are you up to?
Donnie, I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone, to get rid of this Barney Oldfield and to deliver a letter.
Letter? Are you by any chance working for the post office department?
No, dear, but there's a department in Washington that'll be plenty interested in it.
Washington? And you whisper that in my ear 10 minutes before curtain time.
Oh, I was going to tell you. But with this fellow's driving, all I could think of was the police department.
Fourth floor, penthouse elevator to your right, down the hall. Just push the button, it's automatic.
Come on, Nancy.
Okay.
Now, this whole affair won't take us 3 minutes, sweet. All I have to do is to deliver the letter to a certain Amma Pahalani.
Who?
Well, he's the representative of an East Indian Maharaja who's been here negotiating some deal or other.
Well, what's in the letter, Ken?
I think it's a contract. The boys didn't choose to tell me, and I didn't choose to ask because I didn't want to be dragged into the matter.
Here, let me push the button for the elevator. There.
You better push it again. It's not... Oh, here it comes. Stand aside, dear. The door's sliding open.
Oh, there's someone in here.
Someone was in there. This man's dead. Well, look at his turban, all covered with blood.
Don't touch him.
Wait, his eyes are flickering open. He's trying to speak. Mr. Pahalani?
Pahalani?
Are you Ama Pahalani?
He's trying to... He nodded.
Mr. Pahalani, I'm Kenneth Thurston. I'm Mr. X. I brought you a letter. A contract that must be delivered.
His lips are moving. He's trying to say something.
Yes, let me bend closer.
Sorry.
Can you whisper, Mr. Pahalani? Who is to get the letter? Yeah? Maharaja? Is that what you're saying? Maharaja?
Ken, the buzzer.
Yes, someone's pushed the button upstairs. Let's get out of here, quick. And stand away from the door. It's closing. Now to get downstairs fast, and then I want a taxi that can fly.
Ken, how in the world can you think of going to the theater now?
Theater? Honey, I'm going to India.
Oh.
Mr. Thurston, about to land, sir.
Oh, wonderful city, isn't it, Stewart? Those golden roofs shining in the sun. All those graceful domes and spires. Gosh.
Look out the other window, sir. See? There's the Maharaja's palace.
Why, it's like a walled city in itself.
Yes, sir.
Look at that huge tower. Wonder what the palace looks like on the inside.
Inside? I've often wondered too, sir.
Well, I'll tell you all about it on my way back.
Might find that rather difficult, sir. No foreigner has ever left that palace alive.
Steady your back, Saeed.
Hello, Mr. Thurston. Why, Egon Zellsmith, you tracing me again?
I'm Zagan, Mr. X.
Oh, Egon, either one. It's like being chased by the devil.
Isn't it fantastic that we should meet here in India?
Not as fantastic as your costume. A man with your physique parading around in a loincloth.
But Mr. X, I'm a yogi.
Oh, a yogi is it?
A yogi of great powers. I know the language of animals. I can foretell the future. I can transport you magically to any distant spot.
Then you're just the man I want. Transport me to the Maharaja's palace.
Oh, well, Mr. X, there are limits even to my powers.
You think your powers would increase if I gave you 50 rupees?
Oh, yes. I already feel much stronger. For 100 rupees, I'll take you to the Maharaja's prime minister. He will be very happy to arrange an interview with the Maharaja.
How do you know he'll be happy to arrange it?
Didn't I see I can see the future?
And I can still see your past, so take your hand out of my pocket.
I'm sorry.
You're not going to steal that letter, Zago.
I'm delighted to see you, Mr. Thurston. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Permit me to finish. I am delighted to see you in my capacity as a private individual. But as the Maharaja's Prime Minister, I'm pained to inform you that you will not be granted permission to stay.
Suppose I tell you that I was sent by Ama Pahalani.
And may I inquire who Ama Pahalani is?
Was. He died in New York, murdered, while on a mission for the Maharaja, as you well know.
But I do not know. At no time did His Highness the Maharaja send any emissary to the United States.
Well, surely Washington wouldn't have received him as an accredited representative.
I am as mystified as you are, Mr. Thurston.
But look at this envelope. It contains certain papers which must be delivered to His Highness.
I know of no papers, Mr. Thurston. Is it possible that you are the victim of a practical joke?
Well, Ama Pahalani must have had quite a sense of humor to let himself be murdered for a laugh.
I agree with you. It's baffling. Write me the solution when you get home, because you are taking the evening plane back to America.
Mr. Prime Minister, I still request that you get me into the palace.
You are asking the impossible. I won't attempt miracles.
No, that would probably call for a yogi with magic powers.
Sahib, see great rope trick, Sahib. I will show you now, cheap. May you grow rich.
No, Mr. X, don't trust him. He's a charlatan.
It's about time you showed up, Zagon.
I almost couldn't come, Mr. X. You see, this is my hour for lying on a board studded with nails.
I'm kind of on pins and needles myself. Now, did you arrange to get me into the palace?
Wait. Let us stop in front of the snake charmer.
Not too close to the snake, please.
Pretend to be watching him while I whisper to you. Now listen carefully, Mr. X. Tonight I will take you to the palace.
Zagon? How? When? I'm not even asking how much.
Pretty small, only 1,000 rupees. Meet me at midnight by the Babbling Brook under the palace walls.
Midnight, Babbling Brook. You shall get your 1,000 rupees. Thanks, Zagon. And I don't need to add, may you grow rich. Do those temple bells always go off at midnight?
Yes, they ring for the souls of those who entered this palace grounds and were never seen again.
Charming custom. Well, lead the way.
Here, Mr. F. Up the steps. There are guards about and a few tigers on the loose.
Fine thing. These stairs seem endless.
Yes, we are going up into the tower. Here is the balcony from which they throw down the bodies.
The bodies of unexpected visitors, I suppose.
Yes. Now climb through after me. This is the window of the 1,000 jewels.
Zagon, is it cricket to sneak into the Maharaja's room like this?
Are you in? Jump down. This is not the Maharaja's room, Mr. X.
Then where am I, Zagon? Look, I insist on seeing the Maharaja.
Won't I do?
Huh?
Instead?
Who are you? So fragile in your shimmering veils.
I am the Princess Radhanita, the Maharaja's niece. And you are a guest in my chamber.
It's an exquisite chamber. Too bad that I can't stay and admire the sights.
Mr. X, maybe I did wrong to bring you into the Zenana, the women's quarter.
Man to man, Zagon. I don't object at all.
Thank you.
The princess will undoubtedly lead me to the Maharaja.
No, you must not see him. That is why I sent for you. My uncle is a cruel, evil man. He'll believe us. Sit outside on my doorstep.
I obey, O princess. Goodbye, Mr. X. And may you grow happy and wise.
Sit by me, Mr. X. On these cushions.
Silken cushions. Fragrant with jasmine. Huh?
I'm signaling my musicians. They will play so that our conversation may not be overheard. You will find betel nuts and sweetmeats on that golden tray. Reach for the wine.
A jug of wine and thou. No, I better keep my head clear for the interview with the Maharaja.
Why do you keep insisting on that? Must I warn you again and again of the danger?
I love you for that, but why are you so concerned about a stranger like me?
Because you are not a stranger.
Press my hand like that again, and I'll begin to agree with you.
You're not a stranger. Because we knew someone in common. Amar Pahalani.
Well, I'm glad to hear someone claim Pahalani for a friend. The Prime Minister denied that the man ever existed.
The Prime Minister was not aware that Amar went to the United States.
Apparently, the Prime Minister doesn't keep up with things. Very sloppy of him not to keep track of the Maharaja's emissaries.
But he was not the Maharaja's emissary. I sent him to your country, Mr. X.
You?
To raise money. Much money.
Oh, don't tell me you're broke, Princess. My, your lovely arms, I mean, they glisten with emeralds and rubies.
It takes limitless money to overthrow the Maharaja.
Am I to understand that you and the late Mr. Pahalani had serious thoughts of deposing the Maharaja?
Yes, and to kill him, just as he killed my father, with his own hands to gain the throne?
Oh, and those stories about the Maharaja's cruelty aren't just publicity.
Someday the truth will be told that my father didn't die of malaria.
Malaria is quite a nuisance around here, isn't it? Wonder if I'm allergic.
I would 1,000 times rather have you die of malaria than be strangled by the Maharaja.
You are concerned, Princess. And you obviously don't want me to deliver the letter to His Highness, in spite of Pahalani's dying request.
Perhaps you misunderstood him. Perhaps he said Rananika, not Maharaja.
Perhaps. His English was far from perfect. Whereas your lips speak a universal language.
So give me the letter. You will not find me ungrateful.
Paradise now.
Oh. No, don't kiss me again. First, the letter.
Radanika, why change the subject?
Because I must get that letter before the Maharaja arrives.
Let him arrive. I welcome his arrival. Your kisses have made me as bold as a lion.
Keep your voice down. Are you deliberately trying to get him to come in here?
Yes, deliberately and cold-bloodedly.
Please.
Do you think I'll just hand you that letter and leave like a cad, letting you face danger alone?
Sounds so wild.
Yes, I'm in a fever of indignation. Fever. Oh, Radanika, feel my head. Am I kicking up a temperature?
Give me the letter.
I'm ill.
Give me the letter and go.
Go. In my condition, my knees are giving way. Let me just lie here on the couch.
No, you mustn't lie down. Mr. X, sit up.
Malaria. Can it be malaria?
No.
Oh, my teeth are chattering.
Please,
I got the
please
shakes.
go. Yogi, come in here.
Yogi's at your disposal, Princess.
Mr. X is either play acting or he is ill with malaria.
I can cure sickness of the soul, but for the body, I would need quinine.
Mustn't mention quinine. Only the court physician has that, and he would betray us.
I'm chilled. Cover me.
Yes, cover him.
Well, here, Mr. X, I'm putting rocks on you.
All right. No, Yogi, we've got to get him out of here. But first, you must help me search for that letter.
Dagon, is that you?
Yes.
Put blankets on me.
Why?
More. Cover me with your jacket.
But, Mr. X, if I give you my jacket, then I will freeze in this loincloth.
Put your jacket on him, Yogi. Anything to keep him quiet while we search him.
Well, here is my coat, Mr. Feel warmer now?
Put on the light, Yogi. No one must know that I'm still awake.
But, Princess, I always find it difficult to pick pockets in the dark.
The gong.
Oh.
Yogi, that's a signal. The Maharaja has left his chambers. Heaven help us if he enters this tower.
I'll blow out the light in a minute if I can ever catch my breath.
Now we must wait here in the dark, Yogi. The gong will sound nearer and nearer.
Oh, I can foretell the future, and it's not very promising.
I'm sorry he ever came here. I'm afraid.
Ah, my beloved. Fill the cup that clears today of past regrets and future fears.
Poetry, he is delirious.
Search him. This can mean death.
Dust unto dust, and under dust to lie. Sans wine, sans song, sans singer, and sans end.
Just a moment, we will continue with the second act of tonight's exploit of the man called X, starring Mr. Herbert Marshall. But first, a word from the men and women of Lockheed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lockheed Constellation is the largest, fastest, highest flying land transport in use today. Certainly, this is an interesting statement. Yet again tonight, we of Lockheed wish to point out what these points of superiority, largest, fastest, highest flying, mean to you, the airline passenger. Now, the ability to carry heavy loads for great distances at high speed is a direct result of power and design. And these factors, power and design, built into the Lockheed Constellation, provide such things as safety and comfort and economy. The Constellation can fly high over the highest mountain ranges and high above storms and disturbing air currents. It can land and take off from any standard airport. And, this is important, it can maintain altitude and even climb on any 2 of its 4 powerful engines. Furthermore, on flights of as short as 100 miles, the Lockheed Constellation has been found to operate more efficiently and more economically than the ordinary 2-engine transport you fly in today. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, safety-wise and comfort-wise and economy-wise, the Lockheed Constellation is setting brand new standards in air transportation. Today, it serves the Army Air Forces. Tomorrow, it will serve you, bringing the airport in your town closer and ever closer to other cities and towns in America and to lands beyond the horizon. So again, we say, remember the name, the Lockheed Constellation, another example of Lockheed leadership. We return to tonight's exploit to the Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall, to find him in the scented boudoir of an Indian princess. He had come to this mysterious principality of India to deliver a letter to the ruling Maharaja. But now Mr. X is suffering from an attack of malaria, and the princess is trying to steal the letter from his pocket, while gongs announce the approach of the Maharaja.
Yogi, the gong sound in the tower now. The Maharaja is coming up the stairs.
Princess, I've looked through all the pockets of Mr. X. I can't find the letter.
Wait, I will draw aside the curtains. Let the moon shine in.
Yon rising moon looks for us again. How oft hereafter will she wax and wane?
Oh, no letter. I am ready to give up and magically transport myself a safe distance from here.
Wait, Yogi, before you leave. I must give you a note to take to the Prime Minister. I will write it here in the moonlight. Wait.
While Mr. X's pockets are so convenient, I might as well collect my small fee of 1,000 rupees.
Take the cash and let the credit go. Nor heed the rumble of the distant drum.
Here is the note. The Prime Minister will know what to do when he gets it.
Before I go, I must get back the jacket that I put on Mr. X. This loincloth looks too informal. Here. Now.
Have you got your jacket on?
Yes.
Then go. Behind that tapestry, you will find a secret door.
What? A dark passage. What is the strange smell? It's suffocating.
You will get used to the smell. Goodbye, Yogi, goodbye. Now I'm alone with this babbling idiot. What am I to do with him?
Make the most of time we may yet spend before we too into the dust descend.
Chronicle, open the door. Chronicle!
Yes, Your Highness. I'm opening it.
I heard voices in here. Chamberlain, bring your light.
Here is the lamp, Your Highness.
Hold it higher. A man.
An intruder, Uncle. I struggled. I fought him.
Yes, fought him with sweetmeats and betel nuts. Fought me with soft blandishments.
You're all
to
right.
keep me from disturbing your Highness's slumber. Nonsense. She knows very well that I have insomnia. Rise, sir. Who are you? I'm the Man Called X, an amateur letter carrier. I beg
Don't listen to him. He has no letter.
Of course he hasn't, Vadanika. I was not born yesterday. Highness, does the name Amar Pahalani mean anything to you? Yes. Yes, it means 1,000,000 rupees. It means a missing contract for the sale of 10,000 pounds of chinchona bark. Then the deal involves chinchona bark. Precious chinchona, from which quinine is made. Yes. Tell me, have you really got Amar's letter?
He hasn't. Have him shot.
In good time, Radanika. Mr. X, do not try my patience. I'm forced to, Your Highness. The letter, owing to interference with the mail, is not on me. What? Lost? Not if we hurry. Where to? To the always hospitable home of His Excellency the Prime Minister. That's where the letter is.
It's a lie. Don't go with him. Don't.
I seldom lie, Princess. Though occasionally I exaggerate things like malaria symptoms. Why don't you, slip something over your shimmering veils and come along with us?
Do so, Radanika. Then, if the fellow is a liar, Uncle will let you shoot him with Uncle's own gun.
No, I can't. I won't go.
He's trying to escape through the window. Window of 1,000 jewels. I've caught her.
Put her down. Let me go.
No, Princess. No. I'm carrying you to yon jasmine-scented cushion.
Hurry, Mr. X. The Prime Minister retires early.
I hope you'll retire permanently. Come in, Your Highness. Just let me cover Radanika with the rug. When I tore a chunk out of her shimmering veil. There.
Your Highness. Servant, where is your worthy master, that scoundrel?
Why, His Excellency is... He's out.
Out? Now what excuse will you find, Mr. X?
The letter is coming by carrier pigeon, and that means you, Zagon, get out from under that table.
Mr. X, this is my hour for making myself invisible.
Stand up like a man and pick your pocket.
My own pocket is highly unprofessional.
Then I'll have to do it for you, Zagon.
Oh, no, please.
Oh, stop squirming, no. I have to look in your other pocket. Don't act so kittenish.
I'm ticklish.
Here it is. Your Highness, I have the honor of handing you the letter.
Ama Pahalani's letter, sealed with his own ring. Now let me open it.
I had a fortune in my pocket and I didn't know it. What kind of a yogi am I?
As one miracle man to another, Zagon, I switched the letter from my pocket to yours when you covered me with your jacket.
Yes, the contract is in order. Look, sealed, signed.
And delivered, finally. And so will the Chinkona bark be delivered to my country. With most quinine in the hands of the Japs, this will be vital to our men in the Pacific.
Mr. X, an explosion.
Yes, look out the window. Flames.
The Chinkona warehouses. Burning. Blown up.
Let's hurry there. Let's go run into that visiting fireman, the Prime Minister. Everything is getting clearer and clearer.
Clearer with those clouds of smoke.
Zagon, where there's smoke, there's fire. Make way for the Maharaja.
Highness, the calamity. The warehouse is in ashes.
The Prime Minister is directing the rescue, Your Highness.
Versatile fella. Burns the candle at both ends.
You man, send the Prime Minister here.
He's already coming. A diplomat on a fire helmet.
Highness, Mr. X, my friends, you must dry your tears. This tragedy was written in the Book of Fate.
Are you sure it wasn't written in the note which the princess sent you?
It was, Mr. X. I picked the note a little.
Maharaja Sahib, do not listen to the yogi. He's probably in a trance. What mortal man can tell why and how Chinkona bark burns?
My nose can tell. And it's not Chinkona that's burning. This smoke doesn't smell of quinine.
Your Highness, you trust the nose of this foreigner against the
No,
word?
Mr. Prime Minister. These warehouses were empty, systematically looted by you and the princess. And the bark stored elsewhere for eventual sale to Japan.
Your Highness, I can explain...
Explain the murder of Ama Pahalani by your spies.
Explain in your next existence. I shoot you like a dog. May you grow dead. Maybe I killed him too impulsively. Now I shall never discover where the Chinkona is stored.
Visit the lovely Radanika. Ask her to draw aside a priceless tapestry. Open a hidden door to a secret passage.
But don't suffocate, Your Highness. I nearly choked to death. Yogi breath control notwithstanding.
Yes, the Chinkona bark smelled to high heavens, Zagon. But not worse than Radanika's silken cushions. Confidentially, I hate the smell of jasmine.
The cushions will be buried in the same grave with Radanika.
Poor Radanika. I hope Your Highness will give her a state burial. It's most unlikely that I shall meet her in another existence. Yon rising moon that looks for us again. How oft hereafter will she wax and wane? How oft hereafter, rising look for us through that same garden and for one in vain.
Star, Mr. Herbert Marshall returns to tell you about next week's exploit of the man called X. Here is an announcement from Lockheed. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, Sunday, October 1st, marks another important milestone in the history of air transportation. Tomorrow, a Lockheed Lodestar, flying the colors of national airlines, takes off from the Jacksonville, Florida airport and flies the first national airline schedule to New York City. Other Lockheed Lodestars will follow on regular schedules to establish the fastest airline service up and down the Atlantic seaboard. Lockheed congratulates National Airlines on the inauguration of this new service, a progressive step that is typical of many other United States airlines. Most of them started small, and with the support of air-minded Americans, extended and expanded until today our nation is a vast network of integrated air systems. Yes, the nation's airlines have established a progress record unmatched by any other American industry. And this is only the beginning. Tomorrow, after victory, new planes and new routes will make the entire world part of the airline network, a system that you and every American can enjoy. And now a word from our star, Herbert Marshall.
Next week you'll find me high among the peaks of the eternal Alps in Switzerland, where a simple toy music box leads to adventure, romance, and even danger. For there's a beautiful blonde involved who also proves to be a beautiful shot with a high-powered rifle. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the man called X.
Is presented by the men and women of Lockheed Aircraft. Tonight's exploit was written by Francis Farrago. Original music was composed and conducted by Felix Mills. The entire production was under the direction of Jack Johnstone. Mr. Marshall's appearance is through courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor picture Kismet. The men and women of Lockheed invite you to join Mr. X again next Saturday. Same time, same station. John McIntyre speaking. This is the Blue Network.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.